Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this Sunday's webinar. And we have a few updates today from Gaza, from the UK, as well as we were hoping to have an update from Iran, but I think this is going to be pushed to next week. But welcome to this week's webinar. Dr. Nidal is going to open up, and then we will start with Dr. Swiyang, who has a few updates for us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maisa. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us again every week. Good morning, good afternoon. I want to quote something I heard last week. I want to quote the Bishop Desmond Tutu, who said, "There comes a time when we need to stop pulling the bodies out of the river, and we need to move upstream and see why are these bodies going into the river in the first place." And in a way, that summed up the mission of DAG and the medical community that we see it, that at one point we need to step out of our clinics, out of our hospitals, and stop just pulling people from under the rubble and go upstream and try to affect change to stop these injustices and genocides and war crimes that are killing people. If we as a medical community care about preserving life and protecting life, we cannot just practice medicine as usual while the perpetrators all over the world in Gaza and Palestine and Sudan and Congo, Rohingya, keep committing these crimes. So with that spirit, we need to continue to mobilize. We need to continue to uphold our medical oath to protect life, to preserve life. We have a good schedule of speakers coming up today. We're going to start with Dr. Swiyang from the UK. She has some updates she wants to share with us. Then we move with the schedule after that. Some speakers will join us soon. Again, thank you, everyone. And Dr. Swiyang, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, everybody. I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is the hunger strikers different of them have been taken in the hospital, and Umar Khalid has ended his hunger strike because he was so ill that he went into cardiac failure and multi-organ failure, and now he's refeeding under medical supervision. It's still a very difficult situation, but there are still 32 of them remanded without trial, and we'll continue to campaign for them, because I think this business of having so many arm factories in the UK and using UK RAF bases at Cyprus as a surveillance for the whole of Middle East, targeting, killing, and so on, is something we have to resist. Not only doctors, but everybody who are concerned about innocent people being assassinated, huge bombs being dropped, and Gaza losing all its specialized medical leaders. So that's this thing. The next one is that we all, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, were very happy that Dr. Ghassan Abu Sittah has won his medical tribunal against kind of fictitious charges of supporting terrorism under technically our 2000 Anti-Terrorism Act. But right from the day when he has actually been acquitted of all charges, the UK lawyers for Israel has decided that they will appeal and force the legal case further. So they have acted through putting pressure on an organization called Professional Standards Authority. And this is a group that actually oversees not only the General Medical Council, that's the regulatory body you have it in Canada, you have it in the USA, which license doctors to practice, but also license the nurses, the researchers, and 10 organizations. So there are now, it took them quite some time. So on Thursday, they wrote to Professor Ghassan Abusita's lawyers and that say that they are challenging and appealing the medical tribunal and taking Dr. Ghassan to High Court, which is quite a horrible thing because number one, the expenses of defending against the High Court is very, very heavy. And secondly, it is also unprecedented that after having the medical tribunal find him innocent for the Professional Standard Authority to challenge it and disrespect the medical tribunal. This is also very important, not only for Ghassan, but for every practicing doctor in this country. A petition has been drafted on the same day when the news came out, asking doctors who are in the UK, calling them to move towards asking the CEO of the General Medical Council and the whole executive board to resign. So that went live on Thursday evening because they cannot just yield to pressure, because if they're given the custody of maintaining good medical standard, they should not allow themselves to yield to politics, especially the politics of genocide. If Ghassan is guilty of anything, Ghassan is guilty of caring for his patients, risking his life to look after them until they actually march him out of Al Aqli Hospital. So he's gone through all that. And also, Ghassan is a witness to the ICJ. He has spoken at length, challenging all these evil authorities who actually work to destroy people and destroy Gaza. And he has got an analytical mind, you know, through his speeches and so on. I've also learned a lot about the biology of genocide and how we should resist and how we should support Gaza and how it is important that it's just not Palestine, just not Gaza. It is the first genocide of the 21st century, televised live to the whole world, and also have people enabling it, with a lot of us standing up against it. And if we do not win this, then I fear for the rest of the world. And we do fear. So we have got a letter. I think it is now on the website. So it will be important if some of us will sign it. And we hope to get as many signatures as possible by Monday. So far, the count today is about 900 already, okay, in about less than 60 hours. So once we get 1,000, then we should go on social media, publish it, get our MPs involved and so on, because this behavior of a medical regulatory body should not be allowed to continue. And thirdly, the situation in West Bank is really hotting up. What happened is that a group of my friends, these are all consultants, have been going into West Bank for many, many months to teach pediatric trauma. So the last time they went was in in about 2-3 months ago. They went to Nablus to treat, and yesterday to teach. And yesterday they were on their way via Tel Aviv to Hebron. This is an established practice, okay, to teach pediatrics, and they have been denied entry. And they are not even, they were just made to sleep on the floor in Tel Aviv airport. And this morning they were put on a plane flying via Albania, and hopefully they'll come tonight and we'll talk to them properly as to what's going on. So I think this is a big cause for concern, because denial of entry to Gaza has been happening all the time. But I think this denying in West Bank is quite serious. They're really zooming in for doctors. So please, if you can at least read the petition. If you don't feel you can sign it yourself, pass it on and get as many people to support it as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sui. Yes, we should all join. We should all sign these letters and try to push back on these, Zionist structures that are silencing us, especially doctors, and also trying to intimidate others from speaking up, from doing their job. They are interfering in our job as doctors, healthcare workers who swore an oath to protect life and to speak up against the loss of life. In a way, they are interfering in our ability and duty and obligation to practice medicine. What they are doing is illegal, and we should all fight back and unite and protect each other and empower each other. So thank you, Dr. Sui. We will continue this
Thank you.
work, and we will hear more updates from you and from Dr. Ghassan, hopefully maybe next week.
Yes.
If you are both available, we can get more updates on this. And please share this letter, the petition, so we can all sign. And thank
Well,
you
I
for
shared
your
it in the chat, so everybody should have it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone, for all what you do. Now, I think we're going to go to our colleague, Dr. Muhammad Kuzais, a pediatrician from Colorado, the DAG lead in Colorado. He just came out of Gaza. He's actually still in transition. Yesterday, he was in Turkey. I'm not sure where is he now. Muhammad, are you there? For first-hand testimony and updates about the situation in Gaza. Hopefully, Muhammad can join us. He was there a minute ago. Muhammad, are you there? Dr. Kuzais? Okay. And Krama, can we send the link to Dr. Bruner?
I'm doing it now.
Okay.
I'm good. Yeah.
Muhammad, are you there? Muhammad.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm here.
Hello, sir.
I'm multitasking again.
Where are you now?
in America. I am in Chicago.
Oh, you're in Chicago now?
I got one more connection. Allah يسلمك. جايب لك معي idea هم الدكتور أحمد الفرع. When I see you on the 27th, I have something I have to give you. Special present from Dr. Ahmed.
What is it? زيت زيتون ولا جميد ولا ايش ولا زعتر؟
You won't know till I see you, inshallah.
Oh, secret. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for this. Alhamdulillah al salami.
وسلمك.
Thanks for Dr. Ahmed Al-Farra. All yours, Muhammad. You want to share with us anything, updates from Gaza?
Let me think. I mean, alhamdulillah, my time in Gaza, well, let me turn on my camera, I guess. My time in Gaza, alhamdulillah, has come to a close. During my time there, I had a chance to work from the highest levels of care with Dr. Ahmed Farah at Nasser, at the Patient Friends Benevolent Society Hospital, both in the ICU, in the NICU, and also on the floor. And then I also had a chance to go out and work in some of the satellite clinics and see the amazing work that Doctors Against Genocide is doing on the ground, as well as the amazing healthcare practitioners within Gaza. The first time I was there, I saw kind of the active, systematic destruction of a healthcare system. the hospitals are actively being bombed, lit on fire. There was deprivation. And now we definitely start to see the effects of that from the ICUs and the NICUs, for example, where we don't even have surfactant to take care of the babies, the premature babies who were born. I think the worst night I had 3 premature babies die due to respiratory distress syndrome because we did not have surfactant. And like to Karama's credit and Dr. Genocide's credit, immediately I messaged her and we made a post about it, trying to get advocacy and do what we can. Even UNICEF has 200 vials of surfactant waiting in the West Bank that they're not allowed to bring in because of the Israeli military. And so there's still in high level medical settings where you now have time to provide advanced care. There's still deprivation in terms of what supplies are needed and what supplies are getting in that make it more difficult to care for patients and increase the morbidity and the mortality of patients there. As well as when you go out to the satellite areas, people are working, again, in extreme situations. I had a chance to see the emergency. At this point, I feel like it may be it's almost a hospital that you guys have sponsored with the EMTs, the outpatient clinic as well, they were talking yesterday on our student meeting. And getting to see kind of the work in the areas that they work in. There are areas that have been completely leveled, completely destroyed. And so you start to see the longer term effects of illness that we would typically attribute to environmental exposure, things like that. Dr. Ahmed will tell you, we've had babies come into Nasser Hospital with hypothermia, but also when I was working at my friend at Ziddine's clinic, every day, the most common chief complaint for pediatric patients is he's coming in, he's had Gaza for 2-3 weeks, there's influenza going around, everybody has allergic rhinitis, kids who have asthma are having acute exacerbations. Why? Well, because people are living in tents, it rains on them, it's dusty, they're cooking with wood, and so there's ash. And so you start to see kind of longer term effects it has on people. People have had no oral healthcare for a while. And so very often we see people come in with like swollen jaws, and there's not good, easy, affordable dental care either. And so you see as well, people are coming in, they get antibiotics, they go home, but they still have, an impacted tooth. And so while I am optimistic about the situation, because the amazing doctors on the ground now have the time to dedicate to patients beyond just dealing with acute traumas and emergencies, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. And I'm thankful to Dr. Genocide for doing that work, and also specifically advocating for the people there who are doing that work.
Thank you, Dr. Kuzais. Alhamdulillah, salami.
Allah Yassalmak.
Nidal,
Yeah.
should we share the videos from
Yes, let's share the
from
videos.
Muhammad? We were so happy to see you in Gaza so much. It was such a
And you cannot go by yourself next time. You
such
have
an
to
emotional.
No, of course not.
You have to take all of us with you.
Inshallah. I'll put you in my backpack, my massive backpack that I carry with me everywhere I go.
Not Yiping though. We don't take Canadians.
Yeah, Yiping can already get in. Mashallah has gotten in without issue. But for our Palestinians, we'll sneak them in with us in the bag.
Inshallah. Next time.
Inshallah. Wallah, they all love you, and they're waiting to see you guys in person soon, inshallah, once this border opens.
Alhamdulillah. Inshallah. المحبة من Allah. They
Alhamdulillah,
love me.
alhamdulillah. I mean, they love you too, actually, Kama. I mean, you remember, like, we had the neurology case. I was talking to Mary Beth about it, and you immediately were trying to come up with solutions for what we're working in a resource-limited setting, a setting of deprivation. And so you guys are all giving it, your best, both brains and financially and time-wise, to try and make a difference in a place where, there is a system set up to make sure that we can't make a difference. And so thank you guys for continuing to be persistent, for continuing to show up, because even I get tired a lot. And so it's nice to have this group that continues to push.
This is not a choice for us. This is the only way we can be. Yeah.
Yes, that's your music, Muhammad. Muhammad is into Sheikh, خلاص.
Allah khalikun. It's a pleasure as always, you guys.
Thank you. Yalla, get home and get some rest and recharge so we hear more from you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah. For the Canadians in the group, listen to Canadian Broadcasting Service news on Tuesday morning. May hear a familiar voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were interviewed by the CBC, right?
They're planning on it, inshallah, on Monday morning. I'm going to do the interview
Can
and
you
then,
see?
Yes, we see this video, but this for the one clip.
inshallah.
Can you see?
Yes, yes. This for the wound care clinic, not for Muhammad video. But this is good too.
Can you see or no? I don't know what you're seeing.
Yes, yes, we see it, but it's the other video, Krama. I'm gonna show the Muhammad one.
Yeah, we can see.
Karama, can you just make it bigger? Because we can see the chat
Yeah,
and the
I'll
other
make
video.
it bigger.
Yeah.
I think you can see my messages too.
Yes.
Great. Okay. So we have these photos here. This is Dr. Kuzais with Said Faris Afane, who's the head of EMT in North Gaza. And we got these pictures and from the group, and it was just putting Dr. Muhammad, whom we know in person, together with the group, with the team in Gaza, was very emotional and very for them and for us. This is the clinic that is in in Jabalia. This clinic, we saw it being built from scratch, where they dug a well, they put the foundations, they got the wood. It seemed impossible, but wallahi, the people in Gaza built this from the rocks and the rubble. There was nothing. And now this is what it looks like. It's a nice, airy, high quality tent with equipments and with desks and with kids coming to get treated. Dr. Muhammad is a pediatrician, so as you can see, he immediately gravitates towards the kids. And this is him shaking hands with a little girl. This clinic is staffed by specialists in obstetrics, pediatrics, orthopedics. It's also a vaccination clinic, and it's a wound care clinic. And it's people can come to the clinic, and the team also travels to the people in their tents, wherever they are, to deliver care to them. Here's another video. And you can hear him. They're introducing Dr. Kuzais to the rest of the team in Gaza and showing him around.
السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. كيف حالك؟ كيف حالك؟ طبعا الاخوه ضيوف لنا خدمات تمريضيه.
There's another video that was sent to us about the explosion of the Kuwaiti school. So I think you can see the contrast between building and destruction. Who is doing the building? The people in Gaza. Who is doing the destruction? The Israeli forces. They continue to destroy, and our people continue to build. And our job is to not only bear witness, but continue to build with them, continue to advocate against the perpetrators, hold them accountable, and holding them accountable is the most important part. And they are trying to get away with all kinds of things, including targeting doctors like Dr. Abu Sitte for the only crime of supporting the medical professionals in Gaza, taking care of patients in Gaza, speaking up against the genocide. So our truth is out there for everyone to see, and they're trying to hide it violently. So thank you for being with us. This is hard work. This is not easy work, and it needs persistence, and it needs people who are stubborn. So everyone who's with us in this webinar, who stays with Doctors Against Genocide, who follows us, who donates to us, who follows our news, who follows our emails, our social media, is a stubborn justice fighter. And for that, we are always thankful.
Thank you, Karama. I think I want to move to Elvis this time to get updates from him. And sorry for your loss, Elvis. Elvis is helping the community in Congo, and unfortunately, one of the children they were helping, we could not save him, and he ended up passing away. So sorry for your loss, Elvis. If you have any updates, please, about what's happening in Congo.
Thank you very much. Our greetings to everyone from Goma, from Bukavu, from Burundi. I just came back from Rubaya. Rubaya is a place where 200 plus people died in a mine collapse. I think you also on some of the mainstream media did share the stories that we created or we made. It is sad to see that we still have children working in mines, women, young girls, young boys, and in conditions that are inhumane. Yes, the team has been. We lost a child, and it is a child that we met 10 days ago, and this child was brought to the hospital by another international organization, and at the point where the child needed surgery, and the international organization didn't want to pay for the bill, so they left the child alone with the family until we were called by the hospital to come and see if we can raise funds and awareness so that we can be able to get the baby treated. This child was born with stomach problems. The stomach was swollen, and they didn't know what was the problem until we managed to pay for the x-ray. We managed to pay for all the tests that we needed until the doctors decided to go for the surgery. The very first one happened, everything went okay, and then after a few days the baby was called back to the operation room for a second surgery, and then after a few days they went for a third one, and the poor child didn't make it. We have lost again another child among many that we are losing in this country due to neglect from the people who supposed to support the Congolese people, neglect from the international organizations that are raising funds, that are going all over Europe, America, and Asia, collecting money to help the people in need, and they don't do the work. The money doesn't go to the people that are supposed to be receiving the donation, and that is why we are grateful to be part of Doctor Against Genocide, because at least all the donation that we are receiving and all the support that we are receiving is going to help the Congolese people. The child that passed away on Thursday, we managed to bury the child, and everything went okay. We managed to agree with the hospital because of the work and the experience in the past that we have with the hospital. They allow us they release the body of the child without paying. So right now we are raising money to see if we can get 1,000 and then go and pay the debt of at the hospital. This child is one of the many that we are supporting at the moment. We are at the moment in 2 different hospitals, and both of them are lacking of supplies. We still amazed. We're still asking ourselves, when is the aid will come into hospitals around the town of Goma and Bukavu, because wherever we go, there is no supply. Our colleague and friend from Agissons Ensemble may tell you that a mobile clinic, the work that they've been doing with support of DAG, has been impacting a lot of people, because they go to places where there is no health care, there is no support, there is no medication, there is nothing at all. And that is what we are facing. There is no humanitarian aid coming, and the only thing that we are seeing coming is the equipment for the UN either team or the equipment for the military operation, but nothing is coming to help the people who are in need. So at the moment we've got 4 special cases of children who all need surgery. I think last time I came up, or I did share in the group, the baby that was born with a mass on the head. We are still waiting for the neurosurgeon to be available with the team so that they can operate the child. Everything is done in terms of x-ray and radiography. Everything is done. They said they can operate the child, but we are still waiting for the team to give us an indication where it's going to happen. In terms of the update, one of our young girls, part of the 24 who were on the waiting list. When I talk about the young girls, those are the young girls who were victims of sexual assault that we meet at different locations or different hospitals in the town of Goma, who have been sexually assaulted, and as a result they end up pregnant. We do support them. And DAG, for the last 4 or 5 months now, DAG has been providing the monthly food provision, but also paying for their health care or any bill that they have that they need. And last week we had the good news. One of our babies, one of our girls who is 15, gave birth to a baby. So we lost one, and God give us another one. So we've got now at the house, we've got 11 young girls aged between 13 and 18 who are young mothers with 12 babies. So thank you once again for the support that you've given to us. Without that support, we could not be able to feed the children at the house, and we are hoping that we will continue supporting them, not just to eat or healthcare, but also education. The last support that we received from DAG has allowed the team, the Ubuntu team, to continue paying hospital bills to women and children. And at the Keshero Hospital, we managed last month to pay hospital bills for 7 women and 6 children. So thanks once again. And those bills were ranging between $20 and $80. So that is the update from us. And once again, thank you very, very much to every single person who has been advocating for the Congolese people who have been going through the genocide for the last 30 years. I have been supporting financially the Congolese people who are struggling. And we thank Doug once again for giving us the chance to be part of this network, and also be part of this amazing group that is fighting to end genocide around the world. Thank you very much. That's all from me.
Thank you, Elvis. Thank you for all the great work you and your team are doing in Congo. And for our supporters, please support us so we can continue to support our community in Congo. Inshallah, I'll text you later, Elvis, updates about supporting the team and the families and the baby also. And also want to update that we are going to DC this coming Wednesday for advocacy, and we are honored to report that we have few members from Congo joining us. So we will have the Congolese people speak for themselves in their voice with their truth in front of the elected officials who make these decisions and who exploit these people. So we need to keep the pressure. We have members coming from Sudan, from Congo, Advocacy for Palestine, and we are increasing our network as we go. We're trying our best to mobilize everyone all over the world, anyone of good conscience all over the world, to mobilize for justice and to center and amplify the voices of the impacted communities. So thank you, Elvis. I appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. I think Anthony is here with us. I don't know if Anthony, if you have any updates to share with us. I know you might have limited time. If you are ready to share any updates with us now, Anthony. Mr.
Hi,
Aguilar.
can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, we hear you now.
I don't have any major updates. I've just been continuing to post on Gaza and to not forget and don't stop talking about what we're seeing in Gaza now, with the continued bombing, the continued blocking of aid, blocking of necessary medicine and humanitarian aid that was promised under the UN Resolution 2803 that is obviously not being enforced. I'll be going to California next week, so I won't be able to join Doctors Against Genocide this week because I'll be in California this week and next week speaking at UC Irvine to the student campus on what I witnessed in Gaza and what the U.S. is complicit in. And then next week back in California for speaking in the Bay Area at mosques, community centers, a few events in California. So I'll be out in the West Coast this week and the next, but I continue to track what Doctors Against Genocide is doing, and I regret that I cannot be there with y'all this month, but I will be there next month for sure. And mark your calendars for March 15th, which is also the Justice for All rally and demonstration in DC, where I will be attending that as well, and welcome anybody who wants to attend. So I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. So you're tracking us in a good way, in a positive way, not in a negative way, because we get scared when we hear someone is tracking
I don't
us.
mean tracking like the Patriot Act or ICE.
Surveillance, DAG
I
surveillance.
mean tracking in terms of like
Yeah,
following
do
following
more,
your
yeah.
path of leadership.
Okay, Anthony, thank you. We appreciate all what you do, and good luck, and keep us updated. Yes, we cannot wait to see you again, hopefully March 15th, if not sooner. Okay, I'm waiting for Dr. Mark Bruner. He will, okay. Let me see. It seems he had.
We also have
Yeah, go ahead.
Lama.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah,
Lama,
let Lama.
maybe
Yes, go
Lama
ahead.
can tell us about her
Sure.
campaign.
Thank you very much, Karama. So
Lama,
good to see
Lama,
everyone.
introduce yourself, Habibti,
Yes,
please.
I will introduce myself.
Thank you.
My name is Lama Khouri. I'm a co-founder of the Palestine Mental Health Network. We're a transnational movement, and we have representatives in 23 countries. And our motto is no healing without liberation. So that's what we work for, is liberation. It's so wonderful to see everyone's faces, to know we're all working on the same path. And with me today is Paddy Farr. So I'm a representative co-founder of the Palestinian Network. Most of the members are in Palestine. And Paddy is a co-founder of the newly established Shatat USA Mental Health Network. And we're here to talk to you about a campaign we're doing with Social Work for Palestine. Let me read my notes, see, I don't want to get off what I'm supposed to say. So if someone can please post in the chat a link to our website, so please join our mailing list. And Paddy Farr, I want to tell you a little bit about Paddy. They are a psychoanalytic therapist based in Eugene, Oregon. And by the way, it's not very cold there at this moment, apparently. And the PhD candidate in social policy at Swansea University. As I said, Paddy is a founding member of Shatat USA Palestine, and which is part of the part of the international collective. So take it away, Paddy.
Hey, thank you, Lama. So I wanted to start that in 2005, Palestinian civil society called on us to join the BDS movement to use the strategies used in apartheid South Africa for Palestinian liberation. And they called on ending its occupation, Israel's occupation and colonization of all Arab lands, dismantling the wall, recognizing the fundamental rights of Arab Palestinian citizens of Israel to full equality, and respecting, protecting, and promoting the rights of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes and properties as stipulated in the UN Resolution 194. And amongst these, as professionals, us, Lama and I are both social workers, and I know many of us here are doctors. The Palestinian Campaign for Academic and Cultural Boycott of Israel has also called on us to take action. And one of the key ways of doing this is to target and make selective campaigns demanding the suspension of Israeli membership in international forums that contribute to the Israeli regime. PACB calls on us to expel these organizations or work to expel these organizations and boycott their events until they recognize the inalienable rights of Palestinian people as enshrined in international law and outlined in the 2005 BDS call, and to end all forms of complicity in violating Palestinian rights as stipulated in international law. So we want to present a campaign that we're working on right now with social workers for Palestine to expel the International Union of the Israeli Union of Social Workers from the International Federation of Social Workers. In June 2024, the Palestinian Union of Social Workers and Psychologists, also a member to the International Federation of Social Workers, wrote the IFSW that the occupation kills our people in the most horrific ways, and your fellow social workers in the occupying state are participating in the killing of our people. And this isn't just conjecture. The IUSW has openly admitted sending their social workers into the IDF and into Gaza. Also in this 2024 letter, the PUSWP called on the IFSW to expel the IUSW for its role in genocide, occupation, settler colonialism, and apartheid. And they stated, "You must move immediately to condemn what is happening and demand the freezing and expulsion of this institution from a leading organization in social and humanitarian work." Right now with Shatat USA, with Social Workers for Palestine, we are leading a campaign to pressure the National Association of Social Workers, which is the US representative to the IFSW, to vote to expel. In just this past October, a huge event happened where the Irish Association of Social Workers, Consejo General de Trabajo Social from Spain, and the Hellenic Association of Social Workers joined together at the European delegates meeting to demand a vote to expel the IUSW. And that vote is going to be held in just a little bit over a week. The National Association of Social Workers in the United States has generally supported Israel's continued participation. There's been two previous times the Israeli Union has been censored, in 2018 and again in January of 2025. So we are hoping and asking that people here will write the National Association of Social Workers. The threshold is 75% of Federation members have to vote to expel. And this is the first time, I think, that this is a real possibility, that a Israeli professional organization may be expelled from an international forum. So thank you, and I'll pass it back to Lama.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you very much. You know, well, okay, I was going to digress a minute, but I'll stay on the topic. And if what Patty shared is not incriminating enough, I want to share with you more. One of the, unfortunately, the tone that we get from the Federation is surprisingly not so great. And one of the alibis they use is that in 2014, so that's 12 years ago, the Israeli Union, which had refused to call for peace and for recognizing the rights of the Palestinians, finally did and said they support a two-state solution. And their statement called for three things. One, reconstruction of Gaza. Surprise, surprise. Two, a two-state solution. Three, a clear commitment to self-determination and life and dignity of the Palestinians. So that was 12 years ago. And the Federation is saying, well, they did that, we commend them. Of course, I think I don't have to explain to you what's happening. So since 2014, exactly the opposite happened. Gaza is basically razed to the ground. And instead of two-state solution, the Zionist government goes on and saying, oh, don't even dream of a Palestinian state. And instead of dignity for the Palestinian people, we see dehumanization everywhere. Francesca Albanese says that the violence that Israel has unleashed against the Palestinians post-October 7, and of course, even before, is not happening in a vacuum, but is part of a long-term international, intentional, systematic state-organized forced displacement and replacement of the Palestinians. And there are principles in social work. I always say I'm a psychoanalyst, which I am, but down to the bones, I'm a social worker. And our first principle in the International Federation is recognition of the inherent dignity of humanity. And instead of doing that, what the Israeli social workers are in courts, they're in prisons, they're everywhere. And instead of holding the dignity of humanity, they completely ignore it. For example, B'Tselem issued a report called Welcome to Hell, talking about systematic torture camps, de facto torture camps of the Palestinians. The social workers are there, they never open their mouths. And then the other principle, challenging discrimination and institutional oppression. B'Tselem itself, the Israeli human rights organization, calls Israel a state, a Jewish supremacist state from the river to the sea. And of course, the social workers don't say anything. And the social workers are supposed to challenge injustice and unjust policies and practices. And I know I keep repeating this because I find it just unbelievable that Israel is the only state on the planet that prosecutes children in military court. So our children are prosecuted in military courts, which means 99.9% of the cases they're convicted. And we're saying children, like 12 years old. Lately, they issued the Knesset issued a law that 12 years old who are, accused of terrorism. Of course, terrorism is rock throwing is considered terrorism, can have a life sentence. And the Israeli Union doesn't open their mouth. They don't even open their mouth. Almost 2 years into the genocide, 400 Israelis themselves issued a statement asking the union to do something, to call they don't call it genocide, but to call, crimes against humanity, stop talking about the hostages, do something. Of course, they don't do anything. And in 1970, we've done this before. We expelled the South Africans because we saw them as an instrument of the state. And Israeli Union is an instrument of the state. I saw Karama posted a letter that we want you to sign, please, if you are based in the US. There are two other links, one for the international appeal. So if you have connections internationally, or if you're based outside the US, please follow this link. And then finally, we have a link to a Google document for you to copy and paste and send it to your friends. And don't forget, keep talking about Palestine, keep posting, keep sharing, and never stop believing that Palestine will be free. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
so
Lama.
much, Lama. Yes.
Go ahead, Karam.
You go.
Okay, so thank you, Lama. Thank you for this. We need to support Lama, support the psychologists who are against genocide. And we know that unfortunately, this institution, like most other institutions in the medical community, are all either silent or complicit or actively supporting the genocide. This is not acceptable. This goes against ethics, against morality, against medicine. It is sometimes even criminal. And we do not accept that the institution that represent us take these positions and these stances, and we need to do everything we can to change their stance and to pressure them to be pro-justice, pro-life, and pro-humanity. Now we're going to move with our next speaker. We're honored to have Dr. Mark Bruner here with us. Dr. Bruner is a board-certified emergency physician in Oregon. He has more than 20 years experience with trauma and emergency medicine. He has worked internationally in Mozambique, Haiti, Tanzania, Mexico, and recently in Gaza. He also served as the medic with the Global Sumud Flotilla. Following his medical witness in Gaza last June, he's committed to advocating for medical neutrality and urging Western populations to take critical action to protect civilians and healthcare in conflict. So we're honored to have you, Dr. Mark. Thank you for joining us. We've been noticing what you have done all over the world, lately in Gaza, and we also listen to your weekly, messages that you send on your social media. These are very powerful, and we really want more and more doctors and healthcare workers to, listen to you and hear from you and mobilize to protect our shared humanity. So we're honored to have you. It's all yours, Dr. Mark. I'm not gonna ask you any leading questions. You know it all. You share with us whatever you feel is more important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be here. I've been a voyeur over time, kind of sneaking in and listening in the past, and I'm very happy to speak. Um, you know, I've been I grew up in a political family in the U.S. since I was a child, and I marched against apartheid in South Africa as a child, and was always hopeful that eventually there would be a Palestinian state, and so I felt compelled after October 7th, even though I'd been looking at going to teach emergency medicine in Palestine before that, but really felt compelled to get there, and it took me about a year. I finally got in through Rahma Worldwide, organization out of Michigan that you're probably familiar with. But went last June to Nasser Hospital, and I was prepared, I thought, to go into conflict, into a war. I didn't realize fully what it meant to walk into a genocide. It's a radically different thing. The dehumanization and the pathology and the just, the trauma that is so evident in every facet of life there. And now knowing that this is generational trauma that's going to take, you know, 50 years to recover from is just mind-boggling. And I was not on social media before going to Gaza, and I went there to work, and I spent 16 hours a day with one mass casualty after another the entire time I was there. Um, you know, Put it in perspective, I for some reason thought I would count the number of chest tubes that I would put in. And after a day and a half, I stopped at 40. So I mean, the destruction was just um, so pervasive. I mean, in every aspect, um, and I was also there during, sort of in March, the um, Israeli offensive force, stopped allowing anything into Gaza. And so when I was there, there was severe starvation, and it was just, weeks away from moving into true, to meeting criteria for famine. And, I lost 20 pounds while I was there. They fed us one small meal a day, and it was hard. It was so hard to eat that meal, because everybody had single digit body fat percentages. And I would see medical students standing around while we were eating it. And we would have to physically go over and force them, grab them by the shoulder, bring them to the table, and force them to share our meals with us. Um, and so nothing prepared me for that. And since being there, I was asked to be a witness, and I'm happy to do this work because when I left Gaza, that was the single hardest thing I've ever done in my life, was to leave. Because, the and if it wasn't for the people that I met there, the medical students, the nurses, the residents, the patients, the attendings, they buoyed me and have kept me strong. They're such resilient, beautiful human beings. But I think if it wasn't for that, I don't know what I would do. I think I would be so traumatized that I don't know if I could function. But so leaving them, walking away, getting in a van and driving away was the single hardest thing in my entire life because, Western physicians, and physicians in general, especially, rich, white, privileged physicians, provide a modicum of safety. The U.S. State Department had a little geofence around Nasser while we were there, saying, added level of protection. And sure enough, within 1 hour of our group of U.S. physicians leaving, an armed band, armed by the IDF, came in and shot people, broke equipment, so like 1 hour after we left. So that leaving was the hardest thing, but then getting onto social media was something new for me, and trying to find a voice, trying to kind of describe to people, what my real experience was in granular detail, like, the smell of burning flesh, the taste of metal and blood in your mouth, the wailing of the families and mothers, and what it feels like to carry, a 3-year-old in a death shroud, a few hundred meters because the mom's too exhausted to carry the child themselves. And it was just a really profound experience, and it's motivated me to be on social media. And it's really interesting too, because I so many of the people out there are just really supportive, and asking how they can help. And so it's really amazing to see sort of the upswell of people from around the world dedicated to, you know, stopping the genocide. You know, so many people understand that, the two-state solution is so 1980s, and that for true justice, international justice, there should be a Palestinian state. And so seeing this growing number of people that are activists who understand the sort of the greater issue here. And I'm slowly also starting to get involved in trying to help people understand that we need to take action in the US, and to try to leverage some of the existing laws that we have here, namely the Leahy law. I started a campaign called the Leahy Review Now, which is to try to get people to sign a petition to compel Congress and the State Department to enact an existing law in the books since 1979 called the Leahy Law, which says that any foreign government that we provide military support and financial support to, that where there's credible evidence of gross human rights violations, that the funding has to stop, period. And it's been really disappointing because I worked with Dawn and some other really fine, organizations to try to get the word out. And we've been doing it for 6 months. And, in the US, a super majority of people say that they want an end to the genocide. That's, 130 million Americans. And so far, we have 9,000 signatures. So any of you who are US citizens and would like to sign our petition, please go to stoptheidf.com or stoptheidf.org and sign our petition. The idea is to take signatures to our senators and to the State Department and try to compel them to stop the funding. So, my experience there was very intense, life-changing. You got me on social media. It's compelled me to, write op-ed pieces. So far since June, I have 9 op-ed pieces that have been published, but mostly in fairly attempt at the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and the Washington Post and everything else. Of course, they have zero interest in. So I've been kind of relegated to these secondary markets, but I'm still doing that. I feel like it's a good way to have a voice and to try to reach some people. So that's kind of been my hero's journey, so far. But I'm really motivated to keep up the fight, and I'm really happy to start working with Doctors Against Genocide.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brenner. This is the energy that we all need to keep going. So thank you for your work. You did not just go and help in Gaza, but you kept the advocacy afterwards, especially in a country like ours that is sending billions and billions of dollars in weapons to really finish the business for Israel. Unfortunately, this is on us, and we need to be very strong and very loud voices to speak up against killing people, killing children with our tax dollars.
Yeah.
Welcome to Doctors Against Genocide. We see your social media posts. I cannot believe it that you have never done it before, because you're good at it. So,
Thank you.
thank you. I mean, the message
You're welcome.
is very honest and very authentic, and when the message is coming from a place of truth, it spreads very quickly because truth is very powerful. So thank you. And consider this an open invitation every weekend. Join us.
Yeah.
And if you have any messages, join us. We will work on your petition to help you spread it as well. And welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Nidal, are you there or you got busy?
Mhm.
It looks like Nidal got busy. I'm getting a message that our colleague from Rohingya Khalida is here, but I don't see her. Khalida, if you are here, would you please raise your hand?
Karama?
Yes?
Yeah, John here from Maryland.
Yeah,
I just
hi.
wanted to ask Mark if he's part of a group that has organized around the people that have served in Gaza. I met a woman once and I lost the paper I wrote her name on, a physician who had been there who formed a resource that people could call on if they needed a speaker who had been to Gaza. Are you part of
Yeah,
any
are you talking
formal?
about the Nurse Lana genre? This is
No,
Mohammed. Because we have like a peace med group in Nurse Lana that is literally just people who have actually deployed to Gaza. Because as you've aptly pointed out, it is a special kind of trauma.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about.
and I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, there are a couple of different groups in for just providers on WhatsApp and Signal, and I can try to get those and share those with you if you'd like. And yeah, they've been helpful. We're trying to do. Try, I've had a couple of psychologists reach out from around the world offering some free therapy, online therapy and EMDR for trauma processing for some of the healthcare providers, which I think is really, really incredible. And so, yeah, I can try to find those and get them to you, or post them here. Actually, let's see what I can do.
Muhammad, I know you feel like the same experience that you went through yourself. Muhammad just came back from Gaza. He's still in Chicago, actually, on his way back home. So I think whatever you said kind of feels very visceral and deep for him too. So I'm sorry
Yeah.
about. Go ahead, Muhammad.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, it's exactly like, Mark is saying, like you leave and your heart is breaking because, and this is thankfully we're leaving and it's better. When left last year and there was still a war. I felt like I'd abandoned my oath, I'd abandoned my morals. Like this is what I came to do. And then you have all that privilege when you get back, as Mark said, and it just feels almost wrong because you've been there, you've seen the people there, and you know what they're experiencing and what they're still going through. And so, Mark, seriously, thank you so much for your powerful testimony, man. It is hard to hear, and it brings back painful memories, but it is necessary to hear. And thank you to everybody for being here.
Yeah.
We have Miss Khalida Siddiqui from the Rohingya people, who we have been trying to have her join us for a while, but she's fortunately here. And it's my pleasure to have her come speak to us about her community and about her work. And we continue to learn from the people of the Rohingya on their plight. And as always, it's very powerful to hear from the source itself. So welcome, Khalida. Salam alaikum. Ahlan wa sahlan. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you would like us to hear.
Hello, thank you so much, everyone. And I just could join, and previously I faced some issues, that's why I'm a little late. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Khaleda from Myanmar. Am I audible?
We can hear you, Khalida.
Belongs to Rohingya community, and currently, I am pursuing my undergraduate program at the Asian University for Women in Bangladesh. So, apart from my studies, I am a member of CRCS too, as an activist, late Dhaka. So, today I will be sharing a presentation about our project, like in which we are working on. So I hope we will have a great discussion ahead. And if you come up with any sort of question, and Muhammad, may you Islam will be there to answer all of your questions. So I think I should now start with my slides.
Khalid, did you want to share some slides with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
So this presentation is all about the Rohingya crisis and how the crisis began with genocide and led to mass for displacement. Yeah. So if we talk about who we are, so we are an independent and non-partisan organization, and it was established in 2025 by Rohingya International Professions. So we work on research and advocacy to highlight human rights and conditions faced by Rohingya people. So we are very focused on one principle, which is that nothing about Rohingya should be decided about Rohingya. If it is something done by others, it seems like it fails all the time, and the crisis stays the same. So this work is based on CAM level experience. We operate voluntary work without institutional funding, and connects grassroots realities with global advocacy. So if we go to the timeline Rohingya crisis, this is something not new. Since Myanmar's independence in 1948, we were excluded as Rohingya. Military rule began 1982, followed by the 1982 citizenship law that made us stateless. So, in 1991 to 92, large displacement occurred and increased in 2012. And genocide happened from 2016 to 17, which is still continuous. And the current reality in Arkan is like the genocide is not end yet, but their form has changed. Like Rohingyas in areas like Mondo, Buttirong, Rakhine State, and Saitwe still face killings, arrest, and disappearance, sexual violence, and land confiscation, and strict movement restrictions too. So they do not oppose their citizenship, and they are just a trap between the armed groups. And over 1.2 million of Rohingya refugees now live in Bangladesh, Cox's Bazar especially, Ukia and Teknaf, host the world's largest refugee resettlement, which was meant to be temporary, but due to not finding a real solution, is still the same. So life in camps is very difficult, and they are very overcrowded and unsafe. And we people, Rohingya people, face many risks from fire, floods, cyclones, and it happens. It happens like very usual often, and landslides as well. Movement is also restricted, and people are fully dependent on humanitarian aid for survival. So health, and one more point is that healthcare access in the camps is very limited. Many children suffer from malnutrition. Pregnant women are lack of proper maternal care, and also their mental health are very weak. Mm. So there is no like formal education system for Rohingya youth and children. Most of their students cannot receive any what higher education, but there is, but uh, what it's not very, you know, very qualitative, because in like there are schools from that organization and there are many other organizations, but these are not being helpful for other children except like 5 to 10 years students. And so, and we like people are being stateless, and we don't have any legal identity. Politically, like we are excluded from decision making and are spoken like about, but not consultant. If we think about economically, we don't have right to work, leading to poverty, dependency, and youth frustration. So there are so many crises in regional countries. So it affects the entire region. In countries like India, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia, Rohingya faces like our people faces detention, deportation, and protection as well. And more importantly, informal labor exploitation. And it's the same there as well, educational and healthcare. And the main problem is that the humanitarian aid helps Rohingya survive, but it does not restore rights. And there is something. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Khalida.
Yeah, so there is something is missing, which is that the Rohingya-led advocacy, we can say. So why, like, why we want to like to improve the advocacy, and why it matters is that more real problem is that in the refugee camps, such as uh, safety risks, lack of education, and the thing which are happening again and again, and which are very common, and is really difficult to reach those voices to the policymakers. So CRCS wanna work to bring those voices to national and global decision making, so that it can be what it can we can bring a solution to that. So, and the this is all like on life experiments, documentation, evidence-based advocacy and direct engagement with policy and justice system. So it is designed by us, and it is designed by us Rohingya, and also with Rohingya, and of course it's for Rohingya as well. So we don't have any institutional funding or donor backing, and we rely solely on volunteers. Despite this, the organization continues documenting abuses, training advocates, and speaking out for Rohingya rights. So, if we see what if we say about support system, the support system can help us to build a Rohingya-led website and provide field-based advocacy skills, and also create a skills development fellowship and sustain long-term Rohingya-led advocacy. So if we are getting help, it would not be something like charity. It would be like partnership, because it shows like supporting the Rohingya leadership, the truth and justice and future beyond refugee camps. So yeah, the presentation ends here. If you have, and oh no, sorry, I just forgot about this. So based on budget, what like I think is kind of as it has just started, we have thought about the funding is that for we have uh, what we have made a list for funding, which is that is it visible? The screen is visible. Hello.
Yeah, we can see it. Thank you.
So for annual budget, we have targeted 20,000 USD dollar, and these are the list where we will be like using those. We will be like to help our project. Here we have made a list, and yeah, that's all. If you come up with any sort of question, I think Mayu Islam will be there to answer
Center
them.
for Rohingya Crisis
And
Studies.
Thank you, Khalida, for this comprehensive and informative presentation. If you want to share any of these slides with us so we can post them, we're happy to do that so that we can raise awareness and build the advocacy for the Rohingya. So your project is with the advocacy efforts are going to be within the camp by the camp people, right?
yes,
Yeah. Can I just added something here to explain briefly about what now Kalada shares? Thank you so much, Kalada. This is the first time for her to be here and with the international estate and also for our Rohingya community. So I would like to thank her and also to all of you who have listened about our work and what the problem we have faced. Let me give a quick update about the what we face since from the independence of Myanmar. So far, I'll just go a quick update about what we face, like what's happening in the camp, in the Bangladesh Rohingya refugee camps, and in the regional state we have our Rohingyas, and also about the Arkan situations, about the what Kalada have been shared. Like it has been 9 years we have been in the Bangladesh refugee camp. So we the Rohingya have been used with the name of refugee by the UNHCR and UN. So they didn't also give us the basic human right as we deserve from the international community and from the UN NGOs. And also we the Rohingya don't have the right to represent ourselves and also to advocate ourselves. All of every NGO and every stakeholder and international community are working for the Rohingya, but not with the Rohingya. So far, after the mappings of 6 months by the Rohingya youth, women, activists, journalists, researchers from the different background, and also another point is that from the 1981, the 1981 to today, we the Rohingya are not given access to higher education. Like we don't, there is no one who is from the Myanmar, from the Rakhine state, and in the Bangladesh refugee camps have a PhD degree on any kinds of field level, who are inside in Bangladesh and inside in Myanmar. Although we are refugee status or inside the Rakhine state. So we, the Rohingya, are not getting the basics necessities inside the Arkan state and inside the Bangladesh refugee camp. So far, after that, we have designed this project. We need to advocate for ourselves and share awareness to the international community for our voice by us. And then so far, why it's very important, according to her presentation, she have shared a lot of the background and what is happening about the regional country like India. India have been spreading misinformation, disinformation, detuitions, and also forced labor like this thing. So we have been facing this similarly in Malaysia and Thailand. So in Bangladesh refugee camps, we are not able to get access to higher education, and then we have been restricted from the movement and also economic, and also with the basic right to work. So as we don't have any legal identity from which, even though we are trying to build up a website, due to the lack of identity, we are not able to build. So of course, we would love to thanks to the Doctor Against Genocide, who always help us, and also who always raise voice for the Congo and Sudan, and also for the Palestinian people and all over the world who are facing different kinds of crisis with the displacement and refugee, like genocide. So we'd love to thank them and all of you, and we are just need your a little bit support to support on our project. And also we are always happy to share with you about our work. And also we are on Instagram and also LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. We are advocating everywhere as much as we can. And also we are releasing monthly report and also situation based analysis. And also we are working on the different crisis what we have been facing, whether it's within in Myanmar, within in Arkan state, within in Bangladesh refugee camp, with the different background and with the different angle. Whatever we face with this, we advocate for this, and we need your support, even though this a little amount. So we'd love to request to all of you to support our work as much as we can. Thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you, Muhammad, so much. And we are we admire you for advocating for your people, for being persistent, and you know, you're always trying to spread the word and teach others. And we definitely appreciate it. As I told you, I'll talk to you offline and see if we can maybe summarize some of the slides. Not many people know what is happening with the Rohingya people. It's obviously the media does not cover it, so we rely on people like you from the Rohingya to learn about what is the challenges of the Rohingya. So help us understand, help us make others understand, and we will be talking to you and see how we can support your advocacy, support your community, and reach justice for your people, inshallah. Thank you for both of you.
Thank you, Muhammad and Khadija. Thank you, Karama. I think we want to go
Khalida,
with
Khadija.
Khalida. Yes, thank you, Khalida. Inshallah, we'll stay connected with you. We'll follow up with you, and we'll hear more from you every week whenever you get an opportunity. I think we want to go to Congo again. We have our sister Khadija and Claude. Both of them are from Congo. I think Khadija has maybe some updates, more updates to share about the situation there in Congo with her community. Khadija, are you there? Khadija? Claude?
Hi.
Hi, Khadija.
Hi, how are you? I think
Good, good.
I think I'll let Claude go if he's available to speak at this moment.
He did not respond yet. So
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll get on camera in a
Okay.
second. Yeah, but
Thank you,
thank you.
Claude. Claude is in Germany organizing for our people. So
perfect. We want to hear from him then.
Yeah, so sorry, I may not be able to come on camera, but I'll just give a quick update. There's a number of things happening. So first up, I do want to, just in regards to Congo directly, I appreciate the work that that you guys are doing, Hadija and Elvis, and providing in your organizations and providing the badly needed medical support services that are obviously not being provided. And gratitude to Doctors Against Genocide for providing the resources. So our organization, we work mostly on the advocacy side of things, and also our work is always is to push for justice and accountability, because we believe that that is what's going to bring lasting peace in the region. I am going to be back next week, and I plan to be in DC with you guys for the Advocacy Day on Wednesday. So I'll see some of you. In the meantime, we are currently working on a number of things. This year is the 30th anniversary of the invasion of Congo, and it's been an ongoing genocide for the last 30 years. And so there's a lot of organizing happening around the world. Currently, we're working on it's a Black History Month event that is bringing together communities, not just in Germany, but around in different parts of Europe in person. And we are centering Congo. And the theme is Congo, truth, and the role of the international community. And the work is to actually, one, to spread the word, because this isn't something that is talked about a lot in mainstream media. Mainstream media doesn't cover it that much. And so we want to continue to expand the base of people who are knowledgeable and understand what's happening in the Congo. And then additionally, to get some action going in various parts of the world, because it's not just the US that is complicit and that's funding the perpetrators of the genocide in Congo, which is Rwanda. We talk about the IDF a lot here. There's also the RDF, both committing genocide at the same time. RDF is the Rwanda Defense Forces. And by the way, in the last 2 weeks, there has been admissions from Rwandan officials. The ambassador to the U.S., Rwanda's ambassador to the U.S., admitted that Rwanda is working with the M23 rebels and other groups in the Congo that they coordinate. And also, Rwanda's president this week spoke about how basically resources from Congo are to be processed in Rwanda. He made an admission that wasn't a very open admission, but it's a different language from when they were stating that they didn't know that Rwandan troops were in the Congo last year, which, we've been knowing this and we've been speaking about this. So back to the organizing work, there are a lot of different things, a lot of different activities that will be happening this year. We're definitely hoping that Doctors Against Genocide will plug into a lot of the various campaigns that will be taking place, and it'll be around the world. One of the things that happens annually is a day of awareness known as Genocost. It's on the 2nd of August every year. This year is going to be even bigger. And so as we work through this, And as we organize these, some of it is a build up to that day. And then for the rest of the year, there's also later in the year, Congo Week, which is also made of many, many different activities. This is the third week of October. And hopefully we can get some additional awareness raising. I mean, Doctors Against Genocide is doing a marvelous job doing it already, but we would love to have Doctors Against Genocide plugged into some of these activities also, especially in terms of widening the base and having more and more people aware that these things are happening, because that's where it starts. And then, of course, the advocacy work that you do, definitely appreciate Doctors Against Genocide work on advocacy on all of these genocides, Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Rohingya, and so on and so forth. And so that's what is happening. That's what I'm involved in right now currently. It's the organizing work, getting more awareness around the world and getting more action, getting more organizations and more people who were otherwise unaware to be aware and participate. And of course, I'm not doing this by myself. There's a lot of different colleagues. And thank you, Hadija, for the various connections you've made to make it successful. Thank you, guys. And that's all I have. I'll see you guys Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Claude. As we are navigating the advocacy space, I just want to say that when we started going to the Hill, we used to have trouble getting 5 or 6 appointments. Now we're able to get 20 plus. I don't know. Dania will give us an update. Dania and Iman will give us an update about next week. What we get is we get half an hour of time with the office. We are an organization that's focused on education, advocacy, community support. And part of the visits that we do is to educate. So we have a leave behind sheet that has information that we want to share with the offices that we visit. Usually the sheet has basic facts and asks for bills, resolutions, and we try to keep it as simple and as easy to read as possible, as if it's for a 5th grader, because that's what works best. As we are expanding from Gaza to Congo to Sudan to Rohingya, we are going to be faced with a challenge how to put everything together in half an hour and be effective. So bear with us as we are navigating this. It is not easy. We will have, last time we had Sudan advocacy with us, and we tried to navigate that as best as we can. This time we will have Congo. Inshallah, we will be able to also speak on the Rohingya plight. We are still navigating this. We might need to expand. We might need to ask more people to join, more at times, more volunteers to work on this. The goal is to have the medical community and the supporters of the medical community be on the forefront of education and prevention against genocide. So, as we are learning about this, we are finding that more and more work is coming our way. So I ask everyone to be patient with us. And we are prioritizing how we can be most effective. And we are all volunteers. Every single person who is going to the Hill, who organizes the appointments in the Hill, who does the leave behind, who does all the back end work is 100% volunteer, and most of us have full-time jobs. So we're looking for effective, no-nonsense people who can work with us. And in the meantime, we appreciate the support we get, and we appreciate the understanding and the patience as we grow. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Karama. Khadija, do you have anything to share today since you are here?
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to Claude. Thank you to Doctors Against Genocide always for your support, for your encouragement. our community outreach and our community building with our displaced families, with people who are going through unbearable public health catastrophes. You know, it cannot be done without you all. This week we plan on doing another community mobile clinic in the rural areas where people have not seen any kind of medical aid for a long time. So we keep on with what we have, with the resources that we have been blessed to get from DAG. And thank you. I'll come back with an update next week. Appreciate you all.
Perfect. I think Nidal, Dr. Farrat here. دكتور أحمد.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم ألف سلام، كيف حالك؟
مشتاقين.
والله وإحنا أكتر. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I have a surprise today.
Oh. يلا, we cannot wait. غمضوا عينيكم. Close your eyes.
خذ الوضعية. الوضعية. دائما مفاجآت. السلام عليكم.
Oh my God, دكتور تانيا.
ازيك يا رامي؟
كيفك؟ الحمد لله على سلامتك. وصلتي home in Gaza?
Sorry?
You made it home in Gaza?
Yeah, thankfully.
Wow. How are you doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
Good. Did you meet
Tanya?
Yes, go ahead, Doctor.
Dr. Tanya, today she visited the Gaza city, Shifa Hospital, and she will talk about the situation in Gaza today. After that, we have Dr. Abdullah Hasaballah. He will talk about his experience about a bronchoscope and pulmonology clinic in Rantisi Hospital and Nasser Medical Complex. After that, we have Dr. Abdurrahman. He will talk about the emergency department in Tahrir Hospital. We will start, inshallah, with Dr. Tanya. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. So there isn't a ceasefire. I think probably a lot of you already know that. There's daily bombardments, multiple times a day and overnight, but we're not receiving a lot of traumatic casualties because a lot of the bombs are happening over the yellow line. Most of what we're seeing, at least in the ICU, is severe forms of the regular stuff we normally see. So there's a lot of sepsis, a lot of viral pneumonia, necrotizing staph pneumonia. And I suspect the reason the cases are more severe, even in the adult ICUs, a lot more ARDS from like simple viral presentations that progress to ARDS. So I suspect it has to do with the kind of baseline lower immunity in the population coming out of a period of qualitative and quantitative malnutrition. And then also the poor air quality. It's very, very, very hard to breathe, especially in Gaza City. And then caring for these patients is challenging because we're missing a lot of meds and equipment. I think someone was mentioning the other day that we have less than we had a year ago when there wasn't a ceasefire. And part of that is the restrictions on medical equipment, on medications, on the things we need to care for patients. Even though technically humanitarian aid is being let in, the critical things that we need to care for patients are not being let in. And even me coming in, there were 3 people that were already approved as part of the emergency medical teams who were denied at the Israeli border because they were carrying things whoever searched them didn't approve of, including for one of them a cell phone, for another one medications. So it makes it challenging. We don't have enough, for example, for pediatric intensive care. We don't have enough pediatric central lines, pediatric dialysis lines. Some units don't have the capability to measure blood gases. So it makes it very tricky. And part of the reason for a lot of the shortages, I'm talking now about consumables, but then from an equipment standpoint, there were multiple pediatric ICUs throughout Gaza before the genocide started, including Nasser Pediatric Hospital, Rantisi Pediatric Subspecialty Hospital, Kaman Adwan Hospital. Like throughout the strip, there were multiple pediatric ICUs and they were destroyed. And when they're destroyed very aggressively. So it's very hard to salvage even the equipment to use elsewhere in these kind of pop-up ICUs. So a lot of this equipment has to come from outside of Gaza, and with the current restrictions, it's really difficult to get that kind of equipment in. So I'll stop there.
دكتور عبد الله.
السلام عليكم، كيف حالك يا دكتورة؟
يا أهلا وسهلا دكتور، أهلا وسهلا فيك.
هنحكي بالعربي وبالترجمة براحتك، الله يبارك فيك، ايش أخباركم؟
شوي شوي علي لأني بطيئة.
خلي الدكتورة اللي عنده يترجم. الدكتورة
دكتور نضال كيف حالك، ايش أخبارك؟
اللي عنده الترجمة. حرام
congratulations.
عليك.
How did you
خلي
make it
دانيال
in?
ترجم.
We're jealous now. You made it in.
Sorry, what was your question, Nidal?
How did you make it in? We're jealous.
I don't know, but please don't ask those questions.
Whatever you have connected, we have it connected. Me and Dr. Mark, everyone is trying to go back in again, please.
سكر على الموضوع.
يلا دكتور عبد الله please.
الدكتور نضال، أنا في نقطة مهمة، احنا بالنسبة للاحتلال كان مانع دخول التطعيمات. تطعيم الإنفلونزا المفروض نعطيه للمرضى المزمنين، respiratory deficiency, neurology disease, kidney disease.
أوغست.
المفروض نعطيه بشهر 10. الآن الاحتلال دخل لنا إياه أول امبارح. تصور.
have time to translate. So one of the things the occupation has done is they've prevented vaccines from entering the strip. The influenza vaccine, which in theory we should be given to vulnerable populations, including people with renal, cardiac.
No rule. فترة الشتاء خلصنا منها.
لسه ما وصلت هذا البارت. They're supposed to give the influenza vaccine normally in August, and it arrived the day before yesterday's for these patients. It kind of skipped the winter period.
كمل.
فمفروض يعني كان دخل فترة سابقة شهر 10 عشان نستغل المرضى ونحميهم من الإنفلونزا الموسمية.
So it was supposed to come in October so that you can really cover the winter period and protect them from that seasonal virus.
Yes. في نقطة ثانية بالنسبة للبرونكوسكوب، أنا اشتغلت 3 حالات اليوم. من ضمن الحالات في حالة يعني اولد ايج لعدم وجود الطبيب أضل بالمولوجيست الناصر هوسبيتال. فمستشفى الشهداء الأقصى استعانت بي في مريض 70 سنة عمره عنده هيموبتيزيز اند كرونيك كاف.
Sorry. The other point he wants to talk about is bronchoscopy. He worked on 3 cases today of bronchoscopy. One of them was 70 years old. He's doing an adult case because there isn't an adult pulmonologist at Nasser Hospital. So they asked him to come scope this patient with 70-year-old with hemoptysis.
Yes, the bronchoscope was done today. Accidental show left upper obstructed by mass, big mass. Multiple biopsy was taken for histopathology.
ما في داعي أترجم.
Second case by ENT department. He has a goiter mass in the thyroid gland and complains upper airway obstruction. He want to do bronchoscope. Bronchoscope was done today. Show metastasis in the trachea. About 80% before the trachea completely obstructed. Maybe we need chemotherapy and radiotherapy.
How old is the
We
patient? كم عمره؟
put the patient in any time يعني.
كم عمره هذا المريض؟
urgent.
كم عمره هذا المريض دكتور؟
59 سنة.
اوكي نضلت اوكي.
59 years old. Yeah.
Cancer in thyroid and metastasis in the trachea. About 80% من التراكيا obstructed.
On that point,
And biopsy was taken for this patient. Third bronchoscope.
Can we comment on the second patient, Allah khalik, before we go to the third one? So a patient like this, he has a cancer in the thyroid, in the throat, with metastasis and almost complete obstruction of the trachea. He needs chemotherapy and he needs radiation.
علي وين الصوت يا دكتور؟ بس مش شايف الصوت.
دكتور نضال ايش السؤال؟
So for this patient,
دكتور نضال ممكن تعيد
so for this patient, he's 59. He has cancer in his throat, metastasis, almost complete obstruction of the trachea, and he needs
Complete upper need urgent chemotherapy and radiotherapy not available in Gaza. Written التحويلة was written and wait متى تسافر.
So due to lack of medical care in Gaza and lack of evacuation, immediate evacuation, this is like a death sentence for a patient like this. This guy cannot make it unless you have all the resources there to do it right away. What do you think?
And this is a common theme. Like you talk to a lot of people here and they talk about losing family members in the last couple of years. And when you go into the reasons why they died, it's often because they had cancer that they were being treated for before the genocide. They were responsive to the treatment, and then they either relapsed or could not continue their treatment after the genocide started. And so they died from lack of access to care. We work on pediatric evacuations, and we've had several cases that have died waiting for the approval to be evacuated. So they're already sponsored. We've found the hospital that will care for them. We've figured out where they're going to receive care, the funding, everything else.
1,280 cases passed away due to waiting for referral. دكتور نضال مساء الأنوار يا أستاذ.
هلا فيك.
أي عملت.
Yeah, سامعك. So 1,080 cases died while on the waiting list.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. السمع عندك 10 على 10 بسم الله ما شاء الله.
بتبع لك على طول. Be careful. Karama and Dania and Maribeth are recording us. For you and me.
Okay, we open the webinar on laptop better than this.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everything okay?
I think they're trying to, they're trying to go on the laptop.
Oh, okay.
He wants to go high tech now. He's not.
We transferred to a laptop because we couldn't hear you. Sorry, go ahead, Dr.
Okay.
It's much better now.
Okay, Dr. Nidal, how are you, my friend? Karama, Dania, Dr. Ayman, Dr. Aswi, Dr. Good evening, my friend. Today we are supported by Dr. Tania, who's a special guest for the Ministry of Health and especially for Tahrir Hospital, Pediatric ICU. She's always coming with something like revolution, Thawra, a scientific revolution in the pediatric ICUs. She's always doing lectures, training courses, everything. God bless her. And I named her Ukht Rijal. She's Ukht Rijal. We have a proverb in West Bank and Gaza. She's Ukht Rijal. My friends, again and again, really we are suffering more and more. If I talk, I'll not talk too much, but I'll give you some example about suffering for babies in Gaza. The Israeli forces is since the beginning of the war, they have a policy that belongs to milk of babies. They are allowed for a kind of milk, for example, Similac, okay, for just 2 or 3 weeks, okay. After 3 weeks, they allow for another item of milk, for example, Aptamil, okay. 3 or 4 weeks, they allow for another formula, and they ايش ما نامنا forbid the previous formula. So the babies in Gaza, and Dr. Abdullah knows that, Dr. Abdurrahman knows that, the babies in Gaza, all of them, they have diarrhea. All of them, they have cow's milk allergy. All of them, they have lactose intolerance because they are change formula every 2 or 3 weeks. This problem is going among Gaza since 2 years ago. Today, I discovered that all the babies, they have formula, artificial formula, but it changes every 2 or 3 weeks. And the family are screaming, what we can do, what we can do. When I contact the UNICEF about that, they told us that they tried to talk about that with Kugat many times, but they insisted to do that to make the family are suffered, and the baby is suffering, and the doctor is suffering, and the health sector in general is suffering. This is one of the examples that we are suffering from. I will talk about today. Dr. Tanya visited Gaza City. She told me it was very dusty weather. We lost all the infrastructures of streets. If you nowadays, if you walk, you have a lot of dust. A bronchial asthma patient and all the patient who is allergic or have allergic rhinitis or bronchial asthma or atopy, all of them are suffering nowadays. Meanwhile, they have lack of a lot of bronchodilators. They have lack of Symbicort. They have lack of Seretide. Seretide is not available. They have lack of fluticasone for allergic rhinitis. They have normoflunide or furadil if you want to use corticosteroid alone without LABA or SABA. So this is a little examples for the kind of suffering. If you walk in the street, you will have something in your joint because there is no place to walk in it. It is rumble. You are walking upon rumble. Rubble. Stones here, sewage there. So it's unbelievable that nothing changed. They are talking about ceasefire. They are talking about that second stage of ceasefire, but nothing changed on the land. Dr. Tanya told me that last visit, the condition was better than it is now, either for drugs, either for medication, either for medical supplies. Even today, there is a lot of section of the hospital. They was turned off from electricity because the fuel is nearly lost in some areas of the hospital. I think, and we didn't get in the hot summer to use air condition or something like that. So again, we I think if we continued that war and no ceasefire is better than the situation we have nowadays, because we are dying slowly. Really, we are dying slowly. but but we have I don't know. I don't know what the exit for that. مخرج. What is the what we can do?
We have to keep up the pressure, and we have to talk to the leaders who can pressure Israel to open the crossings. Opening all the crossings unconditionally, allowing humanitarian aid is a must. It is not negotiable. It should not be at the mercy and under the control of the perpetrators. These are the basics of humanity, basics of international law. And the only reason all of us are suffering, whether in Gaza or Sudan or Congo, is because the perpetrators have never been held accountable. They're enjoying impunity. As long as they are enjoying this impunity and and are not held accountable, they will continue to kill people by any means they can deploy against them. So, as you said, all these cases that are dying now because of lack of care, lack of access, these are all indirect deaths from the genocide, from the crimes. These are all intentional. These are all engineered. These are not accidental. If they really want to help the people, all what they need to do is to take their knee off their neck and allow aid in, just medical aid, medications, doctors, missions, mobile homes to protect them from the winter. The reason they're not allowing this is because they are intentionally want to kill more people. So this is not accidental. We need to continue to speak up and mobilize. And actually, on Wednesday, I hope Dr. Mark can join us. The DC on Wednesday, we have the Advocacy Day. And this is a call for you, Dr. Ahmed and Tanya. If on Wednesday, we will be visiting multiple offices in DC, in the Congress, and we can have a Zoom or a WhatsApp call with you at every office for 5 minutes. Just summarize the situation that you have for 5 minutes at each office. We can connect you directly and you can speak with the Congress, with the staffers there. We have almost 20 plus visits scheduled for that day. You don't necessarily need to speak, but we can select maybe the 5 or 6 more important offices. And we have Iman, Dania here. And I think we can make this happen. Hearing from you directly from the ground, from the doctors who are treating these people, it's going to be more impactful. It's going to be an additional leverage that we can use to affect change. What do you think, guys? Dr. Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. But and nice to see you on here, Dr. Alfra. Um, this is a special kind of cruelty when you change formula every few weeks to intentionally induce diarrhea, dehydration, and suffering. I like the way you said it. The babies are suffering, the parents and the doctors. This is like it's incredible. The the detail, the fine detail of the pathology that it's hard to understand and to believe. But that's a kind of the message that needs to get out to you on social media is like the detail of the cruelty. And so I think I might try to do a post on that very topic today. So thank you.
Mark, to add to that post, I mean, even this idea that emergency medical teams that come in will get turned away if they're carrying medical equipment or supplies or even basics to do their own job. I can't carry a central venous line for pediatrics or meds that are missing from the hospital in my suitcase. I have to justify everything in my bag is for personal use. People have even been questioned about their stethoscope. Is that to listen to your own heart or to other people's hearts? If it's to listen to other people's hearts, why are you taking it in? So there's this idea, like the level of cruelty is very much in your face.
Tanya, would you be able to share this with the Congress next week on Wednesday, please? Just 2-3 minutes
Yeah,
each.
I can talk about the restrictions. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
we had an interventional cardiologist who was turned away in front of my eyes because they carried a second cell phone in their suitcase. They sent them back. He'd flown all the way from the States. He'd been pre-approved.
Well, when I went, they charged me $1,500 cash to bring in my second cell phone. I took my credit card, I made the mistake of saying, well, I feel like I've already spent enough U.S. tax dollars in the region, and they all stopped and looked at me, and I thought to myself, oh no, I screwed up, and then I just cowered, and they let me through. But something that's really sad is when I was there, and took the tour of the children's hospital, at the time, we were 48 hours from having all of the specialized formula gone. So we started this, amateurish campaign called Gaza Formula Countdown 25, to try to get more formula in. And I think it had the opposite effect. I think what happened is that with that campaign, that the very next series of physicians that came in that were carrying formula, all of the formula was taken, and it has been ever since then. So it was really, it was so ironic that, we started this campaign to try to get in specialized formula, and it had the opposite effect once the IDF realized what was going on. It's again another form of extreme cruelty.
مش سؤال بس عم بحكي إنه الشغلة صارت معه.
Dr. Nidal, please, we want also Dr. Mark to concentrate about the change of formula, and we want to make it something like إيش ما ناخذ يطلع يعني.
How about if we,
Public
Dr.
awareness
Mark,
issue. Public
yeah,
awareness issue.
yes. How about if we, Dr. Mark, Dr. Tanya, Ahmed, and us, prepare a 3-minute or 4-minute video about all these experiences that we can put out on social media, and we can also share it at the Hill on Wednesday. Does that make sense? Summarize all these points
Okay.
in a 3-minute video. Summarize all these points, and from people on the ground, from personal experience with Dr. Mark, Dr. Tanya, Dr. Ahmed, and Adla. Adla, are you there, Adla? Adla is also a pulmonary critical care medicine like Dr. Tanya. She hopefully will be with us. Adla, are you there? She might not hear us, but she will join. Maybe we can have Adla also be part of this, preparing this a very, very
I'm
strong
here.
message.
I'm here. Sorry.
Adla,
I'm
what do you
here.
think? Are you coming on the 11th, DC?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be
So
in
how about
DC.
we do a team to create this video with you, Dr. Mark, Dr. Ahmed, Tanya, and Iman and Dania, and have it ready so we can share it at every visit when we go.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
fine.
20 plus visits. I think it will make an impact.
Yeah.
Plus
I mean, if
sharing
you
it on social media.
if it's within the scope of what we want to talk about, the piece about the bronchoscopy stuff, I can definitely, as a pulmonologist, I mean, it's just disgusting. I'm just appalled. But if it's not, I mean, if that's not part of the scope of what the message is for the little clip, it's totally fine too.
I think it's all part of the scope, which is allow medication, allow humanitarian aid, allow medical supply, allow doctors. I mean, it's all under, allowing unconditional humanitarian aid.
Yeah, with
That
respect to the medications that are not being let in. Yeah, with the asthma medications.
Allowing heavy machinery in so that rubble can be cleared, reconstruction can start, because at the moment, like even Al Shifa, it's the condition of the exterior of the hospital is very bad, and the bits that they're not using, because they do need to expand, the bits that they're not using, it's almost impossible to rehabilitate with the current resources. They're just so beyond the abilities that exist right now without having machinery to fix them.
Yeah.
And
And believe it or not, all this should have been allowed on phase 1 according to the American peace plan. These are, after 72 hours, all crossing should be open, all humanitarian aid should be allowed in. So already 6 months into this, thousands of people, 500 plus were killed due to bombing, direct bombing, and I'm sure thousands died due to preventable causes from, lack of medication, lack of treatment, disease and illness, and hypothermia and exposure. All these deaths were preventable, and all these deaths happened after the ceasefire agreement and after America itself, the United States, the sponsor of this genocide, agreed that all crossings should be opened unconditionally. So, I mean, this is really terrible. But thank you, Dr. Ahmed and Tanya and Dr.
Dr.
Abdullah
Nadal,
for sharing. Tfaddal.
please. Dr. Nadal, please. Another important issue we have to talk about the amount of radiation nowadays in Gaza. After the war of Iraq, I think one of radiologists visited Iraq, Baghdad city, and he got something belongs to Geiger, عداد Geiger, شو اسمه بالإنجليزي Geiger
Counter.
measurement. Yes, and he when tried to measure the amount of radiation, he was shocked because اشمعنى المؤشر تبع العداد the indicator of the measurement was out, that it is extremely radiation in that area. I think if one visited Gaza nowadays with that measurement, he will be shocked to amount of radiation nowadays in Gaza. Why I expect that? Because we are seeing a lot of cases of cancer of the brain, and doctors of oncology, they are shocked about increase the number of cases of congenital anomalies, leukemias, lymphoma, glioma, astrocytoma. You know, I have experience with my nephew. You visited in Egypt. I visited the neurosurgical department. I saw thousands of patients are complaining of from glioma and astrocytoma and epidemoma. So we have to talk about that more and more, because we need someone to get inside Gaza. You know, the occupational forces, sometimes they are talking that they want to do settlement, مستوطنة settlement in Gaza City, and then suddenly they stopped and they didn't repeat that again, because someone told them, don't talk about this again, because Gaza is completely now is unavailable for someone to live in there, because of the amount of radiation. You know that the two bombs that thrown on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, multiplied by 4 or by 5, was thrown inside Gaza, and this is inside the water, inside everything in Gaza. So even we can see that sometimes if you follow your tree or something like that, it not to grow again because of that pollution and that radiation. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Dr. Mark had a full post on that, the amount of bomb and fire dropped on Gaza compared to what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I think it's what, 7 times more or 8 times, Dr. Mark? This is what you said?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. And I love the radiation concept though there. I'm going to see what I can do about finding research on that and quantifying that. That's really interesting. Yeah, so hey, I threw up a post a message up there to see if anybody has contact with Miss Rachel for Little. She would be a great person to try to get to talk about the formula issues. And I think it's a really long shot. I've tried contacting her probably 100 times without success. But if anybody has some type of contact with them, I'd love to know about it.
I think we tried to contact her assistant at one time, but she was busy and traveling, but we can try it again. I really think it's important maybe to give it another try, especially with the plight of the children and the formula. And I know she's doing a lot on her own on that front, but it doesn't hurt to add the medical part to it too. I mean, we can
Dr.
be
Nadal,
there with her. Tfaddal.
Dr. Nadal, I'll do a small movie. Yes, a small movie about that babies who are suffering from changes of formula, and I'll have some permission from their families and the suffering that they are suffering from. I'll make it in just 1 or 2 minutes, inshallah, maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow, and I'll ask Al Jazeera to try to mix edit, and inshallah I'll give you some نسخة copy from it, inshallah.
Inshallah,
Sounds,
that would be great.
and I think I'm going to try to write an op-ed piece on that too, and I'll see what I can do. And if I'll send you a copy, Dr. Afra, see if you want to co-author that with me.
Do you mind if we create a small WhatsApp group for the few of us working on this, please? And let's work on that, both the video and the op-ed. Dr. Mark, Dr. Tanya, Dr. Ahmad, and maybe some of our advocacy team, inshallah. Yeah, we have to keep the pressure up. So, so this coming week on Wednesday, we're going to DC. We're going to be talking to elected officials about what's happening in Gaza, Sudan, and Congo. We have Dr. Iman and Dania and Adla with us here. Do you want to share anything about the visit, any preparation, what suggestions, how our doctors in Gaza and doctors like Marco have been to Gaza can be more helpful for us when we go there, please, and include their testimony, their eyewitness accounts during these interview and during these visits with them.
And can you just if you're having political meetings just for the doctors that are still in detention?
Dr. Hussam
I
and his colleagues, yeah, we always speak about them, but again, thank you for the reminder. We need the help of all of us. Sometimes we miss things, so thank you for reminding us. We'll add this. And again, as Karam mentioned earlier, we only have maybe 20-30 minutes when we go there. So if we have too many demands, they all get lost. We try to focus on 1, 2, 3 top demands, so they are more precise, and we have to put it in a way that's more compelling, that's more impactful, that can get a buy-in from them. And as doctors, healthcare workers, we kind of leave the political aspect of it out. We focus more on the humanitarian aspect, the medical aspect, because whether they are, on the same side of the political spectrum as us or not, having a baby formula, giving patients their medication, allowing access, these should not be controversial. Everyone should agree on this, whether you are on the right or the left or pro this, pro that, regardless of your politics. There are basic human needs and rights that we should all agree on, and we try to make it this way. تفضلي إيمان. تفضلي
I was
تانيا.
gonna, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya is well known, and so there's a lot of people speaking about him, but there's several healthcare workers, almost 100 still in Israeli detention, including Dr. Mus'ab, one of our previous students. These people are being held without any valid legal charge. Yeah, I think just as healthcare workers, we should be pushing to have all of them released.
I mean, you are creating more work for yourself. When we create this group, please help us put these points in the leave behind. When we go there, put these points so we can discuss each one of them. So I know it's more work for you, but it's very important. So thank you. Iman.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, we really appreciate your testimony. We do share this information with the offices because, this is stuff that they are not hearing about out, like in the media, in their meetings and all of that. And so they're really shocked. And so, we will definitely talk about the formula issue. I mean, that is just sort of pure evil to be like, thinking about. I mean, I think this is intentional, right? This is just another way to kill more people and like to kill babies. So I think that will be very impactful. And then also the reminding them that it's not just bombs, but like, people are getting cancers and, and they don't have access to treatment. So we will definitely do that. I like the idea of the video, even if we don't have enough time to share it in the meeting right then and there. We always send like follow-up things, but I think it's important for them to also hear directly from you guys because, you know, it's secondhand from us. You know, they will ask us things like, well, where did you get that statistic or where did you get that information? And so rather than it just coming secondary from us, you know, I think sharing that directly from you guys is, I think, is really, really important. We have, Tanya, like, you know, especially with Dr. Abu Safia, but in general, talk to them about, you know, releasing healthcare workers. And we were a little hopeful when some of them said that they would talk to the Israeli embassy, but nothing came of it. But it doesn't mean that we won't stop doing that. We're trying. I think the difficulty is trying to get them to act, and then whoever they act with to actually do something about it. And so I think the social media part where you were talking about, like Mark was talking about putting that out there, you need the public support behind that too, because I think that that's kind of what pushed this fake peace plan and fake ceasefire, because people were pushing, like the average person was pushing. And now I think there's this complacency. And I know that when we were asking for visits, you know, some of the office would say, oh, we've met with you before. And we said, it doesn't matter, you know, like nothing has changed. And I think this so-called ceasefire is making some of the politicians and people in general complacent because they think that there's a ceasefire and things are better. And so I think that's our job to let people know that it's not. And so we will continue to do that. If you are available, please come with us to the Hill. We're going this Wednesday on the 11th. We'll also be going March 18th and April 15th. So if you can't make it this week, try to get out of work. It's just a day. Numbers really matter. You know, because we have to be the voices for our colleagues who have been there and are suffering. And so the more people, the better.
Dr. Ahmed's asking what time on Wednesday, if you're going to be calling him.
So we have appointments from 10:30 to 4:30 during the day. So I think what we're going to have to figure out is, I think like Nidal said, maybe pick like a couple of key offices. I think it's going to be difficult to have him speak at every single meeting. So like, I don't know, I was thinking maybe like Senator Kane's office, because he's on the Foreign Relations Committee, and that appointment's at noon our time. So that might be a good one. So that's I think that's going to be the main thing, is if we could maybe figure out like, or what's the best time for him. And then I could try to figure out, but I think it's going to have to be those senators that can actually do something, that are on the Foreign Relations Committee, that might be able to help us out.
Your meeting started about 5:30 Gaza time, so
you're 7 hours ahead, correct?
Yes.
Let's look at the meeting in 7 hours.
Yeah.
So
like 12:30 or so would be good for him, he said.
Yeah, let's prepare the video that we can share with every office. Then we can select few important offices that it will be good if we can have you live in person, talk to them. How about that, Iman?
Yeah, I mean, I would do the video because I don't know logistically how easy it's going to be to bring him in. Inshallah, that will be, I need somebody to help us with the IT part, you know, but like maybe we choose that one. Like, I don't know, inshallah, Dr. Farra إذا كان يعني الساعة 12 عندنا يعني الساعة 7 عندك يعني we have a meeting with Senator Kane from his office from Virginia, and he's on the foreign affairs. So that I think that might be the best one. I think we have one with Kim also. He's 11:30 in New Jersey. So one of those two.
It's okay.
Okay.
Inshallah.
Tanya,
Okay.
are you gonna still be at Nasser by then on Wednesday?
Yes.
Tanya?
Yes.
Perfect. So we would love to have both of you, and even Dr. Mark, if you are available also, you can join us. That will be great.
Inshallah.
Yeah. If you cannot join in person, join us by Zoom. Inshallah, next time in person, Mark. Okay, so we'll get going with working. I'll create the WhatsApp group and we will start working on the video and also the list of demands. If Tanya, you want to put the most important demands, we can have you and Iman and Dania work on it. And again, we want to make it kind of, you know, impactful and compelling, but also not too many demands, so they can focus. Unfortunately, they are lazy. If you ask them for too many things, you lose it all. Dania, do you want to share anything?
No, something I mean, just to kind of piggyback off what you just said about like you have to just keep it as simple as possible, and you have to realize where the U.S. buy-in is in regard to helping them meet this demand. Securing the healthcare, the healthcare workers they have detained. Realistically, we've learned, even though we continue to bring it up with each meeting, it's not something that the U.S. has much leverage. But our message at this time is very simple: let the humanitarian aid in, lift the siege. It's all part of the ceasefire plan. It's all part of Trump's peace plan, and just kind of reminding them that there is no ceasefire. But yeah, we've learned in the last 2 years doing this is we have to make it as simple as possible for them and kind of do the majority of the work for them. So having having Dr. Ahmed and Dr. Tanya join us, from the ground will be hopefully very impactful, because as Iman said, a lot of times they're shocked to hear about these things. Remember, a lot of them are getting their news from, the Israeli embassy in DC, and just the propaganda that continues to just flood, mainstream media. So a lot of it is kind of like confronting them with the truth. So yeah.
Okay.
Can I have something?
Yes, please go ahead, Dr. Swian.
I would love to have a copy of the video because we can lobby our parliamentarians here as well. Because we meet them all the time. And then if it's some recording of Dr. Alfara and Tanya, we can just play it on our mobile phones and let them listen to it. That's number one. Number two, some people are asking whether they can sign the petition, which you have put online, because they're not GMC members. I think it's quite simple. You just sign. When we see that you haven't got a GMC number, we know that you're not practicing in the UK. It's okay, but you demonstrate your support, and that will be recognized. Okay.
And does that also apply for non-medical professionals?
Yeah, because there's a category and say whether you are
supporters,
a health worker or this or consultant. So you can just, I think it's okay. Because when we go through it, we'll pick up the 1,000 who are actually UK registered doctor, and then we have others which are not. So it all adds up.
So I'm gonna put the link once again so that everyone signs it. No excuse, even if you're not an MD or a clinical doctor. Yalla, sign.
This is going to be big because when you talk about health,
Because we want this to
we want
be
everybody involved. Okay.
Yeah, we want people to, and I'm gonna post it on our YouTube channel with our friends on YouTube. God bless them.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Tanya and Dr. Alfara and Dr. Mark. I really appreciate everything you're saying. And I thought I know a lot about Gaza, but this thing really strikes me as to how they treat the babies. This is the height of cruelty, calculated cruelty. Yeah.
Yeah.
May I? Sorry, it's Adla. Is there a time for me to say something quickly? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Adla.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, I've been in touch with some of our colleagues from the group Sanctions Kill. And on the topic of our discussions about obviously what, U.S. policy and what we're doing to children in Gaza and Congo, Sudan. I'm so sorry. My gosh, let me silence that. There is a petition going around to have people sign on about, there was that Lancet study that came out over the summer, which I've talked about briefly before, with respect to direct correlation, for the first time showing direct correlation between U.S. sanctions and mortality rates and morbidity in children, the first of its kind. And so that group is actually really being, supportive of DAG, and they will likely be joining us, I believe, in April when we go as part of our genocide awareness campaign, and we'll be trying to bolster us. And so they have asked that we have not just the organizations signing, but individuals signing, worldwide. And so similarly, if we could, we can talk maybe offline about a way to spread awareness of their letter campaign, because they'll be bringing that to the Hill. Because they're going to be talking about the stranglehold on Cuba, which is just in recent days. I mean, oh my God, with what's happening. And so, those sort of coalitions and just bolstering the overall message of medicine, medical neutrality, trying to not torture civilian populations, et cetera, I think is all in keeping with the same mission.
Okay. Yeah, and it's hard work, and we need to be persistent. Nothing happens easily. We are medical professionals, so we know that in medical research, in medical care, persistence at the end pays. So even if it feels like nothing is working, I think we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to Gaza, we owe it to Sudan, we owe it to Congo, and to the Rohingya, not to refuse to look away and continue to accompany our friends and our colleagues and our patients, and giving up and just moving on as if nothing is happening is not an option, right, everyone?
We are going to be here, okay?
Yeah, we are going to be here.
We are not going anywhere.
We are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It is
Until
a-
it is done, okay?
It is a promise.
Yeah.
Good. Anyone else? Yeah, people are asking about dual use items and all that. I think, I don't know if there's a comprehensive list, but we keep hearing from the medical missions that are going to Gaza that this is crutches are prohibited, wheelchairs are prohibited, mobile homes are prohibited. Sometimes medications for asthma are prohibited, sometimes formula, sometimes, of course, MRI machines, heavy machinery to remove rubbles. So there are so many things that are essential to life that are prohibited, and it's very clear the reason for making these things impossible to get in is to really finish the job that the bombs and the airplanes have started. And we know from medical research in many areas is that mortality after genocide is much, much, much higher than mortality from direct trauma, because I think, almost everyone who has chronic kidney disease, who's on dialysis, did not make it in Gaza. Cancer patients will die much, much faster and with no access to any cure. And, children with diabetes, children with epilepsy are dying because there's no medical care. So the mortality will continue to rise. And that's why having Rafah border open and having aid gush in, literally gush in, is the only way we can save lives. So it is a medical necessity. So where's Nidal? I think all our speakers spoke today. Anyone wants to weigh in or say something in the last few minutes of the webinar?
We have Tanya and Dr. Ahmed. Do you have any more messages? Anything else? Any more points you want to share?
ملاحظات شيء عبد الرحمن في عندك ملاحظات خلي عبد الرحمن يقعد. تعال تعال لا لا بحكي كويس مش يعني لو انزنقني يعني تعال.
هاي الدكتور عبد الرحمن، معنا دكتور رضوان.
اهلا وسهلا.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام، يا هلا دكتور.
يعطيك العافية.
اهلا وسهلا.
Hello, hello everyone. I'm I'm Abdurrahman Shahri, a pediatrician doctors here in the pediatric board, the Palestinian pediatric board. Now we work in the emergency department in the pediatric. We will talking about this situation. I think since ceasefires everything, we are still standing in the same point. There is nothing change, and if the things is go bad and getting worse, there is no change. Everything is very bad. I think that there is a shortage in the medication that we in the that are in the emergency department to up to the point that we can make a priority between the patient. That sometimes there is no ondansetron, there is no Betacort, there is no Decort. Sometimes that give us in 24 hours 2 ampules of Decort for the all shift. That's dexamethazones. That save it for the most severe cases. Some cases can coming in at night at the group cases. This two ampule we saving for this cases. Everything is very bad. There's no change. It's in medication. Uh, the time all medication. I think that's in a period when the war is continue, that a lot of medication can enter in our Gaza, and we can go supplies and getting some supplies from now. There is no many equipment in emergency department. There is no intravenous line. There is a shortage in a lot of equipment in the emergency department. There is no intraosseous drilling that we can make it by a syringe, and everything's it's very bad. Yani, there is no change. Anything. Uh, Sometimes we make a priority between the patients. Now is before for a period we have an outbreak of upper respiratory, sometimes like influenza or the coronaviruses, with the symptoms of cough, rhinorrhea, high grade fever, and the patient is still with high grade fever. There is no IV Acamol can given for this patient. Paracetamol can we given for this patient? Sometimes we can in the intensitron. Even outside the hospital, the price of this medication outside is very expensive, and we can make some donation from some people, but it's still in the small amount that doesn't enough for the every day for the patient. Ondansetron, we have a deficit in these medications. We can go to the Bramine. Bramine has a side effect in patient, and sometimes the patient may come in the convulsion, and that's occur in a cases since 3 days before coming to the hospital with fever and diarrhea, vomiting, and given Bramine, but unfortunately convulsion occur in this patient. We facing an outbreak. I think now we may face an outbreak of acute gastroenteritis, diarrhea, and with vomiting. I think that's yeah. I think that's the situation, and overcrowding, and the bad nutrition, and overcrowding. That's causing the infection transmitted from the patient to the patient, and this make more cases in the emergency department. And now we can ممكن نستقبل we can receive about 600 cases per day every night, every shift, 24 hours. And this is, I think this is a big number for us to achieve, to deal with them.
Yes, تفضل.
Today, they have, this is the key message, final message or home message, that the occupational forces are making pressure on the NGOs, especially MSF Spain. You know that they are collapsing and they will not cover the Nasser Medical Hospital and the Hello Hospital in the incentives as they did before for nearly 1 year and a half. So I think this is will affect the health sector, and it may make a collapse in the health sector. Today I have a Zoom with the head of MSF in Spain, in Barcelona. She told me that we have some the occupational forces, they are talking with us, and they are their policy is to shrink or collapsing for our incentives. I told her, look, my friend, we are the stone of the valley. They are, I'm talking about the occupational forces, they are the foam of the float, and the stone will be rooted in that valley. If it was covered by some mud, if it was covered by some water, the water will disappear, and the stone will be rooted and rooted more and more in this soil, because the valley belongs to us. Palestine belongs to us. Inshallah, you will go, MSF will go, and another, inshallah, NGOs come to collaborate with us, because we will not forgive, we will not give up. Inshallah, we'll continue as we mentioned before, because this is our duty and this is our destiny. Again and again, thank you for your attendance for this webinar. Tanya, you have something to talk about? Tanya is going to sleep because she's tired from the from her traveling to Gaza.
But since you mentioned MSF and the other organization, we know like 37 organization Israel is blocking from giving aid, and we know
Yes.
that MSF was responsible for 1 out of every 5 beds in Gaza. There are so many critical programs that they are funding. They have been funding that risk being shut down now, since they are not allowed in. Can you tell us more about the impact of shutting down these organizations, and is there any other organization that can compensate for this? Or I mean, the way we were describing the situation is already catastrophic. It's already not compatible with life, even in the presence of these organizations. So I don't know how much worse things are gonna get, and what is the message? What should we tell
It will
our
be
elected officials?
it will be very serious and catastrophic situation. You know, the MSF used to supply a lot of medication for Nasser Medical Complex, for maternity and pediatric department. We are talking about essential antibiotics. We are talking about essential medical supplies. We are talking about some infrastructure, some قطع غيار. إيش معنى قطع غيار؟ replacement part for the engines, for the elevators, for, I think if they stopped, I think the health sector will be affected more and more, and also the doctors will work freely. You know, since the beginning of the war, the doctors used to work freely
without any payment, I think they will continue to work because this is what we used to from them, but this will be more hard and more difficult on their families, on the in the tents, and in that situation that they have to buy water, they have to the food is very costly, and they all of them they have some members of their families outside Gaza. They have to send money for them. I think the message that we have from the travelers who come back to Gaza is a very strong message. The Egyptian and the Egyptian borders officers were surprised about the overwhelming of that passengers or travelers who come back to Gaza. They were very intended to come inside Gaza, and when they got inside Gaza, إيش معنى ركع شكرا لله.
They prostrated or kneeled,
Yes,
thankful to God.
thankful for God that they are inside Gaza, and you saw some of them on Al Jazeera. They took that nothing compared to Gaza, nothing compared to Gaza, nothing compared to Gaza. Destroyed Gaza is the best spot over the world because it's a spot of dignity, it's a spot of humanity, it's a spot of respectable and everything. So I think even they expect that if the borders are open, everyone will leave. No one will leave. This is our land. We are the stone of this valley, and we will stay here, inshallah. And we will invite everyone in this webinar to visit West Bank and Jerusalem as soon as possible. يرونه قريبا ونراه بعيدا ونراه قريبا إن شاء الله.
So this time you are giving us the moral boost. So thank you again. As usual, Gaza is motivating us, inspiring us, and liberating all of us. Because believe it or not, 2 years ago, I myself was scared to talk about these subjects or go public about it. And I think many of our colleagues here are the same. But because of Gaza, because of the bravery of Gaza, the sacrifice of Gaza, we are all more free. We are all more liberated. I really think we just need to just one extra step to the finish line and unite the people. And this movement that Gaza inspired, the movement of the global movement of pro justice, pro humanity, the movement of we the people is going to win over the movement of the ruling class, the Epstein class, the AI class, the predators who are exploiting us, the people, for their self gain and for making profit over humanity. And it also, Gaza divided the world into people who care and people who do not care. And both sides come in all kind of colors, religions, faiths, and nationalities. People who care can be white, black, brown, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, atheist, Hindu. And people who do not care, the Epstein ruling class, are also Muslim, Jewish, Christian, atheist. They only care about money. Their greed has no limits. And we are the movement of humanity without borders. They are the movement of profit and greed and wars and bombs without borders. And we shall win. We just need to keep pushing, keep mobilizing. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you, Dr. Tanya, everyone for joining us and for inspiring us. Whenever we feel down, you come back and you give us this recharging, spirit every week. We really appreciate that. We have also another important speaker who's joining us today. We are honored to hear from Dr. Karama Hawash, who was speaking at Princeton University yesterday and presenting the work of DAG and the work of the medical community at a new actually intellectual and academic forum led by Dr. Shalhoub, who is also a prominent pro-justice actor who has been punished by Israel. And actually, I did join them for the second day. It was really important, inspiring. There's a lot of brilliant and smart people there. A lot of people are dedicated for justice, for truth, for finding ways for all of us to get stronger and fight this attack from the predators. So, Karama, what do you want to tell us more about that conference, that experience?
Sure. So Al-Hadina Al-Fikriya is an initiative that is led by Dr. Nadira Kevorkian, Shalhoub Kevorkian, and she's a professor of gender studies and law, a visiting professor at Princeton University, and she put together a group of Palestinians and Lebanese and people who are dedicated to the study of what is happening in Palestine. And there were architects, there were education professors, history professors, gender studies, writers. And I was in a panel called Racism and Medicine with Dr. Yara Asi. Some of you probably know her. And Dr. Wiam Hamoudeh, who is now at New York, NYU, a professor at NYU, and she's also a fellow at FXB at Harvard School of Public Health, and the future Dr. Ghada Majdali. She is studying the health sector in Israel, actually. And our panel was on racism and medicine, and how medicine is racialized, and how some lives are deemed not worthy because of their race or their religion or their geopolitical situation, and how to fight against this, how the Israeli health system has really demonized the Palestinian health workers and silenced them, censored them, and made them feel that they are under surveillance all the time, not even allowed to show even empathy with Gaza. And we also heard about Dr. Wiam's research, where she collected testimonies from 6 medical doctors from Gaza. And I spoke about our mission as Doctors Against Genocide and how we took a very active role. Our role is, in addition to we are engaging in data collection, research, identifying patterns, coming up with a medical definition of genocide, connecting the dots between different genocides, trying to identify patterns that connect them, trying to identify the circumstances that lead to genocide, which is very much in the research, educational realm. We are also involved in advocacy because, as you know, every month we go to Washington, D.C., and we continue to grow together as a group. We continue to address more active areas that need intervention. And we also do community support. And I really think we should start calling it community support and avoid the word aid. Aid suggests loss of agency and one part aiding the other, while
What's the acronym you came up with, Karama? I like that.
community support, which is mutual. So just like we get a lot of support from the communities that we work with. I think we see that every week whenever Dr. Al-Farra comes to our webinar. I think we are all invigorated. We all feel better. We all learn from Dr. Al-Farra, Dr. Iyad Amawi, Dr. Abu Rish, our colleagues in Gaza. We learn from Elvis. We learn from Hadija. We learn from the people who come to the webinar from the Rohingya, from Sudan. It's really not, they support us as much as we support them. So community support implies a both-way relationship and not a relationship of aid where somebody provides aid and somebody receives it. So I can tell you that, you know, the presentation about the work of Doctors Against Genocide has been extremely well received, because it is not only academic and not only research based, but it's also active. It is in the moment, it is mobile, and it's agile, and we switch gears when we need to switch gears, and we rely on our people, we rely on each other, we rely on our members to support each other. We continue to grow, we continue to identify connections that help us. And all this makes me very, very optimistic that we need to be persistent and we need to continue what we are doing, and we should not be distracted, because just like Dr. Al-Farra always says, they see it far, but we see it near. So we see justice near, and we have to work through that. And I'm very thankful to everyone from Doctors Against Genocide. I'm also very thankful to Dr. Nadira, who put together this group of people that I am sure we will see together, because we intend to invite all of them to come to the webinar. One final thought that I will share with all of you is that one of the things that we really focus on is to democratize the process. That's why we have public webinars. That's why we have public events where everybody comes with us. We invite everyone to join us. We like to keep communications open and clear, so that, you know, people get to know each other. We're not hiding, and we're not using 100 million security measure. We feel that this is part of our work, is to be public, to be in the front, to be available, to invite people to our spaces, and to work together and to continue to grow. So thank you for being together with us. And I did not expect to talk about that, Nidal, so thank you for asking me.
Yeah, I like to surprise you, Karama, but thank you for inviting us and for inviting me and for being a great voice for us and for the community here. Actually, we met some of our strongest supporters there. Annie Habibi, I don't know if you are there or not, but she also pointed a few things about DAG, the way how we work that we ourselves did not know that we are so good at. So she pointed them out. We're gonna write them together, inshallah. And she will go, hopefully at one point she will come and join us and talk about it. So
Yeah,
that
she's
is
in the
great.
business world.
The business mind, yeah. We end up being really good about doing business or solving problems without being educated much about it, but it's okay. We're trying our best, and again, none of the work that we do will be successful or will be complete without the support of all of you. Again, this is a community organization. It's each one of you with their contribution, whether by joining us, coming with us, speaking, with us, or supporting us, donation. All kinds of contributions are what is making our work possible. Again, I think maybe we need to just get some feedbacks or final thoughts from the panelists. Let's give the Canadians a chance. Gore, are you still there with us? Maisa is not here, and Yiping has to go because he's in Damascus enjoying the scenes there. Gore, are you still there? Okay, Gore might not be there. Dr. Ashraf Abulaziz, ازيك? Are you there? Dr. Ashraf. Okay, so Gore and Ashraf are not there. Maribeth, any feedback, please?
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you to JAG, to the leadership for continuing to provide sort of the ethical tone of the entire organization. And just that I appreciate everyone and their time and effort.
Thank you again, Ashraf or Gore, if any of you is there. We want to hear from you, any feedback. Then we have Adla. Do you want to say anything? Any final thoughts, please? Adla? Okay. Dania, any final thoughts about our upcoming?
No, sorry.
Yeah, Adla.
Sorry. I am trying to do too many things at once, which is why I'm off camera. No, and I'm just really, again, honored to be in the group. I'm looking forward to our ongoing advocacy efforts on Wednesday as we continue to build and all the different people that we brought into the fold. I did put this in the chat. I don't know if Dr. Alfaro saw it. I'm just curious if perhaps he's related to my husband. So you can look in the chat. But in any case, honored to be on the panel with everybody. And inshallah, we continue our efforts with more and more success.
Yeah, Al Farra family is a strong family in Gaza, so I'm sure they are related somehow. Okay, so for everyone, if you
Yeah.
can join us on April 11, February 11, which is Wednesday, we are going to DC. We have the Hell Day with more than 20 visits. So please join us. If you cannot join us this month, next month is going to be March 11. So please put that on your schedule, March 12th. And our biggest one, that's going to be April 15th. If you cannot make it this month or next month, make sure you make it April 15th. We want to make an international statement from the medical community. April is the International Day for the prevention and awareness about the crime of genocide. And we really want to make a big statement with more than 1,000 doctors, healthcare workers going to DC and making an impact and putting our elected officials at notice that this is not acceptable. We cannot continue to arm, aid, and abet genocides. We cannot continue to send our tax money to mass slaughter babies and children while our communities here at home are, suffering, while the services being cut down, and on top of that, unleashing ICE attacks against our vulnerable communities. I really think the medical community has a moral obligation to stand up for all vulnerable communities, whether here at home or overseas. And let's make April our biggest statement. Please spread this around. April 15. We want every or as many doctors, healthcare workers to join us April 15. It's going to be 1,000 plus doctors, healthcare workers, all coming in. And we do have actually a buy-in from few senators and congress people that if you bring us 1,000 doctors coming here, then honestly, I can push more for your demands. Help me so I can help you. Bringing 10 doctors, 5 doctors is good, but it can only take us so far. You bring me 1,000 doctors, that is a statement. And that will leverage any one of them who wants to do something or demand something to do it with more vigor and with the backup that I am speaking with a strong constituency and with the people demand. So please join us April 15th. Dania and Iman, any final thoughts about the DC visits, please? Anything else you want to share about this coming visit?
Yeah, I'd like to share a DAG accolade, I'd say, for booking meetings. We were able to secure, and shout out to Mary Beth, we were able to secure a meeting with Speaker Mike Johnson. So this just shows just our consistent efforts and just more offices and people you'd never think would want to meet with us. We ran into his military fellow in the elevator, and we had a nice conversation with him. He was he thanked us for his work, and we made him promise us that the next time we were on the Hill, he'd take a meeting with us, and he kept to his promise. So he'll be meeting with us this Wednesday. So Speaker Mike Johnson.
We're going to be speaking. We're going to be going to Mike Johnson office.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh
Tanya
my
and I
God.
ran into his defense fellow in an elevator. We had escorted some other ladies up to the prayer room. We weren't going to pray. I don't know, being the, I guess, rabble rousing heathens we are. And I just, we get to chit-chatting with people here and there. A stranger's just a friend you haven't met yet. And he says, "Oh, I'm the defense fellow," and goes to explain it, which a defense fellow is an active duty military officer who gets assigned as a broadening assignment to a congressional office. And their job is to advise on matters of national defense. Areas that they specifically cover would be like the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, that has to get reapproved annually. That includes a lot of caveats of funding for Israel every single time. And initially, he's like, "Well, I don't know what I can do." And I'm like, "Oh, honey, we'll figure it out." So Tanya followed up and said, "Hello, you met us in the elevator. We're those two nice, chatty ladies." And here we are now. That's the story.
Yeah, that is great. Actually, I remember just for everyone, when we started going to DC, we were shouting at them from the top of our roofs, rightfully so. And Adla Sukkar, Dr. Adla is a witness to this. Stop murdering children. But with time, we learned and we stayed persistent and committed. And with time, we are building relationships with those staffers, with those offices. And believe it or not, having a relationship with them, them knowing you, does help, does move the needle. I know we are not, you know, making miracles. We are not stopping the genocide overnight, but every connection, every personal connection with a staffer here and there, every buy-in we get does help move the needle. We are moving the needle slowly but surely. I wish we can do it overnight. I wish we have the leverage of power that we can fix things overnight. But until we get there, at least we can get many of those staffers either they're either ignorant or not interested or lazy or you know they don't they don't make the decision. So working with them, giving them opportunity, educating them, focusing their attention because there are so many other issues. They keep them busy with so many other issues. So going there every month or twice a month and reminding them that, okay, this is still going. Okay, the genocide did not stop yet. Okay, the babies are still starving to death or freezing from hypothermia, the baby formula. So all these things do make a difference to keep their focus on the issues that we care about, whether in Gaza or Sudan or Congo or here at home. And again, it's not magic, but it does move the needle. Iman, anything?
I don't think anything extra. Just if you could make it a correction. I gave the wrong date. I think it's March 11th and not the 18th that we're going to be in the Hill next week. But yeah, just sign up if you can. But I think yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
February 11th, then March 11th. It was originally 18th, but this ended up being the Eid, the day of the Eid, so we changed that. So it's going to be March 11th, then April 15th. Dr. Mark already committed that he's going to join us for April 15th, and he's going to bring at least one colleague or more. But I think with all the celebrity status you have now, Dr. Mark, you should bring 20 people, not just two. So please, we need your help with that. We need as many doctors, healthcare workers to join us April 15th. I don't know, Gore and Dr. Ashraf, are you still there, guys? Are you with us, Dr. Ashraf?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
We did not see you in the last two visits to DC also. أهلا وسهلا. أهلين. تفضل.
Thank you again for a wonderful webinar. As usual, I'm very impressed with everything. I just have a quick question here for either Dr. Mark or Dr. Tanya. Can you take children winter clothing with you to Gaza when you go over there? Or that's considered non-personal issues? I mean, would they stop you? Would they prevent you from going in if you take children's winter clothing with you?
I think Tanya went to sleep, but I things have changed so dramatically as far as what they're allowing in these days, and so I don't have a good personal understanding of what you're able to get in and out anymore, unfortunately.
Okay.
But most probably, from what I know, what we hear from our colleagues going in there, yes, most probably they will not allow you to take anything non-personal with you. Only the personal thing that you need yourself.
Yeah.
And that includes the baby formula that was confiscated from few doctors going in there. So I think if they not allow the baby formula, they will not allow children clothes. But we can check with Dr. Tanya again, maybe tomorrow or next week if we hear from her next week. Most probably they will not allow anything other than what you need personally. Anything extra, either they will take it away from you, or as Dr. Mark said, maybe you have to pay extra. The good thing about it is the children clothes actually they are available now in Gaza, and we're able to buy them. So some merchants are able to get some clothes. Uh, the prices are expensive to the people in Gaza, but for us outside, I think it's not that bad and it's doable. And we have been helping some families buy clothes for their children. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So, anything else, Ashraf?
No, I just trying to figure out what I can take with me when I go in February, inshallah. So because that was one of the things that they told me that I can take with me, and then I heard from Dr. Tanya today that they prevented people from going in just for taking like an extra cell phone or stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm not going to be prevented from going through
Yeah,
if I take this.
I think that's really smart. If I was you, I would just only bring absolutely personal items because it would just be tragic for you to
Yeah,
get sent away at the border. It is
yeah,
definitely not worth it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, because if you're gonna bring in, you'll only be able to bring in, 3 or 4 jackets or something like that, and the not having you there for however long you're gonna be there is just definitely not worth it.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
And
Well,
we have
I
Dr.
don't.
Mohammed, Qusay, who just came out of Gaza, and Dr. Tanya.
Yeah.
I'll ask for you and see if
Okay.
there's any feedback. But I agree with Dr. Mark. I don't think
Okay.
it's worth the risk. They might, I mean, as she said, the cardiologist was not allowed in completely. The whole mission was canceled because he has an extra cell phone. So,
Yeah.
uh,
No, it's
okay.
just because of the continuous reports of kids dying from cold, freezing. Um, so
Yeah.
I thought maybe that would be one of the things, but I mean, of course, these guys they don't care. Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
All
Dr.
right.
Qusay.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Swiyang, any final thoughts, please?
No, just a big thank you for all of you. Really, I I cannot express my appreciation of all the work you all do.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sui. And actually, the most eloquent speaker here is Dr. Mark Brunner. So I'm going to give him the opportunity to close this webinar today, please. Close the webinar on final notes or thoughts from your end.
Well, listening to the passion that everybody has today is very uplifting to me. And I feel a little bit like I've been working in a silo because, I came home, I didn't give myself time to integrate. I tried to get back, was not allowed back in, did the Global Samud Flotilla, and then I've just been working around the clock. And to now find a group of, more than 100,000 like-minded people that believe in justice all around the planet for, human beings, and to work hard as a collective. I feel so inspired, and I'm just, from the bottom of my heart, I'm very thankful to be part of this group now. So thanks, everybody.
Give me a minute. Okay, everyone. Thank you. For
Okay.
those who can make it on Wednesday, we'll see you in DC. For others, we'll see you next week at this webinar. Keep up the good work. Thank you, everyone, for your support, for your dedication, for your passion, and for your refusal to allow our world to be hijacked by this predatory ruling class and the supremacist people of all shades and colors and faiths, and for insisting that the medical community, along with all people of good conscience, should lead the way for a better world for all of us, for our shared humanity. Keep up the good fight, stay safe, stay strong, and anyone who has any ideas, suggestions, any ways we can improve our work, any connections we can make to mobilize more people, to amplify our voices, please send us messages, send us emails, info at doctorsagainstgenocide.org. And again, thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.